you, Father, for the wedding supper, and those that you'll call out in that Lamb's Book of Life. So where we put our treasure, where do you put your treasure? You won't receive your inheritance unless you have a crown. So say in Revelation 3:11, like a thief in the night, you come quickly and get people sleeping, right? So tell us not to sleep, not go to bed and get rest, but spiritually, do not spiritually fall asleep. So what an amazing time to be a witness to the goings on of this modern day society. Is definitely far from the ways of old, the way that things used to be. Again, what a different, society we live in, where people are, well, most people are a credit, they pay with the card, plastic, and don't use the money that's been used since the beginning of time, gold and silver. So we'll have a little discussion about that, see if anybody knows what's going on in the precious metals. Now, we're going to talk about copper, and that's not considered a precious metal, but it is now considered a strategic metal. And so the U.S. declares copper and silver a strategic metal, meaning they need it for national security. So maybe that's what happened. Did the U.S. buy up all that online copper? How did the online copper go? I've only seen one video blogger talking about it. Nobody else seems to be having any conversation about it. Everything is all this talk about silver and not as much talk about gold anymore. That's or the script has been flipped, hasn't it? So thank you, Father. Thank you for Shiloh. That's my treasure. That's my love. But you tell us we have to have extra oil and be girded in your service. So I thought I'd come in here and have the discussion, the safe haven. Those who say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon those who call out for shalom. Oh, that is the word peace in Hebrew. So he says, do not think I came to bring peace. I came to bring a sword of division. So he's the one who separates the wheat from the chaff. And we give thanks to the Redeemer for paying that bride price and for his bride. It's a purchased possession. So they've already been bought and paid, and he's the one who paid the bride price. So thank you, Father, for that. At the wedding supper there, he will call out those that he knows, those that he already has bought and paid for. So who bought up all that copper? Not too many people talk about. I'm sure starting to see, I talked about when precious metals became, when silver became unobtainium. Well, it's still available, that I thought that people would rush to copper, but it looks like somebody got ahead of me on that one, didn't they? So I only know of one online dealer right now. I know of a second one, but I never dealt with that DM metals. So I've done some research, and it looks like they do ship metal, but there's a extended, like the slow boat to China to get to you, and there's no customer service. So that's not a good thing. I'd be hesitant to order from somebody that I can't call and get customer service if you had an issue. So somebody got ahead of this, and who did it? Who do you think bought up all this and all of it too? I talk with a couple people about trying to get ready for this. I have videos here on this channel. I did live streams telling you guys here at the ministry to take a look at copper, as I do believe it'll be something that it'd be the poor man's, like silver's the poor man's gold. Copper would be the poor man. Just want to be able to afford silver at $80. It's not $80 for silver. Nobody's buying silver for $80. Silver is $91 online for an ounce of silver. So 91, 92 bucks. And unless you do with a bank wire or something. So it's not that far off for $100 for an ounce of silver. So there's no, I don't think we're going to go back and ever see. Okay, yeah, good. Peru. We've been talking talk about a lot of silver coming out of Peru as well. So, but who bought up all that online copper? Again, I was talking about buying large chunks, even if it was a little more expensive, because you could refine it down, you know, kilos and pound, you know, that was obtainable. Just a little over a month ago, you could buy everything online. There was no talk about copper. Remember, I made that known. Prognosko, to have foreknowledge of. That's the Greek word. So try to get you ahead of the, you know. I was telling people 12 years ago on this channel to purchase silver at what, $15? And so $91 to hold it in your hand. That's a pretty big come up right there. So I hope somebody listened to me. You know, maybe they did it and they lost it all when they went fishing or something. I don't know, but I don't think copper is going to be very easy to obtain, because you can't go online to any of the bullion dealers like Apex. They don't have any. JM Bullion, they don't have any. ST Bullion doesn't have any. Monument Metals doesn't have any. Muddy Metals Exchange doesn't have any. Nobody's got any copper online. So who's got copper online to buy right now? I'll share with you. There's one company that's actually still selling it. You know, I purchased a little bit the other day, and I went online, and the same ones that I bought for $207 are now $399. $399. I haven't even got them, and they've already gone up that much. I purchased them at $207. They're $399. So tried to get you ahead of this and told you that, you know, this will be something smelters will people who can actually take and refine this metal down to smaller. You know, I was trying to get people to buy it by the pound. I know it's expensive to buy it by the pound, but look at the price of it already. So I told Kevin, I said, I wouldn't sell it for any less than $4 online, because that's the going price. And now that's the price of copper, the only available copper place I know online. So where can you buy copper online? I'll disclose that information if you're interested. There is still a company selling some copper online, but most people doesn't even know about this company. And I'd be very careful of some of these online. There seems to be a bunch of online dealers now that have come on to the scene here, with the precious metals sector being in the limelight. So, you know, hopefully you have some rice and beans, you know, way to protect it, some water filtration, like a life straw, something like this, Sawyer Mini, personal water filter before you invest in any kind of, I'm not giving you any investment advice here. So, but sometimes, you know, I'd rather be 5 years too early than 5 seconds too late. So the U.S. makes silver and copper, a strategic metal. It's a war metal. I already said that. I've been pushing that on you like a pushy car salesman, but with a lot of Jesus right now. But said there'll be a high demand for people who can actually fractionalize and break down. I say go buy, if you had extras, and make it into, you know, quarter and half and 1 ounce, you know, whatever, ingots, and stamp it with your stamp and get ahead of this, because there's going to be a high demand when silver at, you know, $91 to buy it off of Apex is not very affordable for the, I mean, that's a $100 bill, and you break a $100 bill and that thing's gone with the wind. Turns into a 20s, and then it just doesn't last. A $100 bill used to last all week. So you could fill up a whole grocery cart for $100. You'd be hard pressed to get 2 bags of grocery for 2 bags of, well, poison, pretty much food flavored poison for that same $100 today. So look at what a stack would have bought you back. When I first brought people's attention to the silver sector, silver was at like $14. So remember, I had all mine taken from me, because don't tell anybody where your precious metals are at, and you'll probably be able to hold on to them. So, but boy, what a come up, huh? You know, I know of one person that I told to buy some precious metals, and I'm pretty certain by the math, and I did the math, they've already gained at least $100,000. That's okay. I don't want their money, you know, but that's a pretty big come up. That's quite a few double cab Tacomas. How about that? So I've lost quite a few double cab Tacomas in the last, I don't know, whatever. It don't matter. So I don't think I'm ever gonna own a double cab. Um, it's not looking like that. Maybe was, some months ago, but I don't think that I don't think that's going to be not any time in the near future. We'll put it that way. So it's out of my price range. I'll have to go with my piece of crap 96 4Runner. It's not that bad. It's just it's definitely not the quality of the double cab. I'm thinking like this newer second generation. That's what, from 05 to 2015, I think they made those. So for 10 years, they made that body style. That's what I was trying to get myself into, but I don't think that's going to happen. So like I said, I'm glad that I can help somebody. I know that they made at least $100,000. That's at least 6 or 7 double cabs. So I'm glad that they'll have the ability to have that. Hopefully they'll use it and won't just sit on it and it won't do anything. But that's what he said. Hide that shekel, right? And then you didn't use what I gave you. Give it to the rich man. So he expects you to use. We're all given a different measure. So he said he'd pour out a just measure on all of us. So use what you have, brothers, sisters. Don't sit there and hide that light. Don't hide what you have. Don't hide your talents and your skill set. Idle hands are the work of the devil. So again, talked about the penny. Talked about before they clipped it, and then on November 6th of 2025 in the pagan calendar, they made copper and silver a strategic metal. So got ahead of that one. And then on the 11th, the Warp Speed, Mr. Warp Speed, contacted the Secretary of Treasury and made silver and copper a strategic metal. So what was that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, it was, like 5 days, and that didn't take long, did it? So, and here we are in January, not too many days off, and there's no more copper online. So put a 1 in the chat, or put copper in the chat if you know anything about copper, if you invested any of your hard-earned paper payments and turn those into some form of copper. It's out there. There's a lot of scrappers scrapping copper, so I'm sure there'll be copper come online, but it all costs money to take it and refine it. And if you're going to pull it out of the ground, remember there are copper mines. Again, copper is not nearly as a rarity as silver or gold, but starting to think silver is definitely going to see it. Somebody could do the same thing in the silver sector. The whole market cap on silver right now is $900 billion. It's not even $1 trillion. So it's a teeny tiny market. Just one big whale, if they wanted to come in, just, crush the market, they could come in and buy everything up. So again, I talked about buying larger amounts and smelting that metal down into smaller, because I do think in the future that this will be a good trade item. It'll almost act as like a monetary type of, change. You'll be able to use that copper. I talked about that, about trading silver, like a silver round, for maybe a horse. 14 silver dimes, constitutional, pre-64 dimes make up 1 ounce of silver. And maybe if I offered you 13 because I wanted to keep one in my pocket, I wasn't totally forthcoming with you and said, well, I'm a veteran, would you help me out and give me a discount? Would you do it for 13? And maybe if not, well, then I could throw one of those copper pennies on you, or maybe 2 or 3 copper pennies. That might close the deal. So I think copper will be something that the average person, and I'm definitely not average, but the average person will be able to get their hands on, because silver will just be too expensive. I don't think we'll ever see $50 silver ever again. And that was the high on silver, was $50 twice. Actually, a third time, during the COVID, a silver eagle had a premium of $25 over the spot price. So not at spot did it hit 50, but it has before twice in history, and once in 2012 with the whole scare of the Mayan calendar, and again the 80s silver went up after a large market crash, and so we've seen it hit that twice, and it just shot through and broke the ceiling off on that. So there really is, we're in new reality territory when it comes to silver. But what's going to happen with copper? Who bought up all this copper online? You cannot buy it online right now. There's just nowhere to get from the online bullion dealers. The largest dealer on the internet, the interweb there is, are you getting hot, puppy? I got the fire going in here. Let me go open the door a little bit. Puppy's getting, oh, you're saying I'm wearing a big old fur coat, Dad. You got it hotter than you know what in here. Open the front door for you. You can sit next to the door, Dad. Ooh, it's a little chilly out there, huh? So, is anybody invested in copper? Did anybody listen to me? Did anybody get any copper rounds? They sell them in half, 1, 2, 5 ounce. They sell them in kilo, 1 ounce, or excuse me, 1 pound bars. Did anybody listen to me? I don't think anybody did. So, I talked to you about keeping all your pennies, and I'm invested in Jesus. Well, there you go. You got to put your treasure not of the things of this world, but he said have extra oil. So, you know, God's money is gold and silver. You know, they sold the Hamashiach, Christ. Jesus is a pagan sun god, Satan, but we'll use your pagan term for now. And like Christ, that's a pagan term as well. But there you go. You're good. So don't worry about that. But you don't get, there's a lot. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but we'll try to keep the stream going. We got the door open because we got to go in here. But it's probably talking about copper. They don't want you to hear about it. So save all your change. Don't ever get rid of any of your change. There's, you know, pennies. It doesn't matter if they're copper that are clad. They didn't hear me speak of it all. But I got live streams talking about it for hours and hours, talking about becoming a schmelter and, you know, actually taking and breaking down large amount of copper, so that I told it's a supply and demand type of, there'll be a demand, but there won't be enough suppliers who could break the metal down. So I told you guys weeks ago to do this, and more than that, you know, months ago, I was actually talking about copper as well, saying that, you know, the penny was worth 3 cents, you know, well, more than, you know, with the copper value, it cost that much to make a clad penny, not even copper, but they clipped it. So no more copper pennies being put into circulation. Warp Speed, the POTUS, contacted the Secretary of Treasury and said, stop minting the clad penny. So America makes no sense. There's videos I did on that, live streams I did on that. So there's probably got at least 100 hours in the last month or two, you know, on talking about copper throughout the streams here. Maybe not that much, but quite a bit. I've been talking about it, trying to get everybody ahead of this. Like, again, just trying to get people into the silver sector at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You know, I never thought I'd buy metals past 25, but then I said, wait, 50 is fire sale prices on it, remember? So I paid $88 for a piece of silver the other day. I did. I think I might have it here. Let me see if I still have it here. It was, here it is. That's the most I've ever paid for a piece of silver, and I could have bought this for 44 bucks, and I barked. I did. I barked at it for $44 because the silver price was. And I told Kevin, I said, I ain't paying that much for it, but I paid $88 for that silver bullet bar right there. the other day. Whatever. It's just it's something that I wanted. I should have bought it at 44, and that's what you get. You snooze, you lose. So it's from 1987, so it's kind of more of a collector piece. But it's $91 for a piece of copper at APMEX, or excuse me, per piece of silver right now. So silver under $100 is a deal. I'm not telling you what to, but this is the silver bullet. I just thought that was kind of neat. I don't drink, but Coors, but silver bullet, and that's funny, a silver bullet. So they have silver bullets. You could invest in silver bullets, not literal, but they're pure silver. So they don't have a primer or anything like that. But again, who bought up all this copper online? That's a huge purchase. I mean, every bit of it. All the bars, all the rounds, the fractional, all of it. Somebody bought it all up. Where can you buy copper online right now? Where can you get 1 ounce rounds? Who can buy 1 ounce rounds? Which distributor has 1 ounce rounds right now? I know some. Most people don't know about this company or mint. So I've shared it on here before. Actually, they're running a sale right now. I bought some buffaloes, for as low as $1.99, but that's if you pay with a bank wire. So there were $2.07 on a credit card. That same one right now is $3.99, and I haven't even received my order. They've already gone up, twice as much. I've already almost doubled my money, and I don't care about the money aspect of it, but I still know where you can get some 1 ounce copper rounds for $2.07 a round if you're interested. But like I said, you better be invested in your afterlife insurance. You better not put your treasure of these earthly things, the rules, but you have to have extra oil. So, it's God's money, gold and silver. So I don't think silver is going to become, it's going to be unaffordable soon. Silver could be 1-to-1. Silver could be, what's gold right now? $4,500. Silver could be $4,500. It was valued 1-to-1 at the time of Rome. They didn't value silver more than gold. And actually, I think that silver's worth more than gold. It has way more uses. It's used, and it's the most widely used metal, across the sector. It's used in so many different aspects of, and what is this new battery they have that's going to go like 800 miles or something like that? I think it takes 32 ounces of silver at, what is that, 82 times 32. Somebody do the math on that. What's one of those batteries going to cost you? And it's not $82. It's $91 online. Go look right now. You can't buy a piece of metal for $80. Nobody's selling any metal for $80. So get off your high horse. You ain't getting no metal for $80. That's a paper price if you want exposure on a paper contract. So you want to hold it, you're going to pay. There's a premium. So like I said, a silver bullion round is $91 right now at APMEX. So that's about the best price you're going to find on a piece of silver. So silver's not $80. Silver's 91 plus. I showed it to Kevin the other day. It was 94. $6 off $100 to have it in your hand. So it's not me who, is trying to get you to buy anything. I'm just trying to bring your eyeballs, and if I could have your ears, you have a hearing ear to what's going on here. So like I said, I ordered just a few days ago, and I ordered some copper buffalo rounds, and they were $2.07. It was $1.99, but they're more if you pay with a credit card like everybody pays. And they were $2.07 a piece. Now they're $3.99. They haven't even shipped my order. They haven't even shipped my order out, and I've already gained almost $2 on each round that I purchased. So I know where you can get some precious metals, and because at the rate of copper being, I know it's $6 a pound, but I don't think that's going to hold very long either. Copper is widely used. When they can't use silver, they will try to replace it with copper, but it doesn't have the thermal conductivity of it's a good metal. It's used in electronics, and it's used in AI, but it doesn't have, silver is the most thermal conductive, most reflective metal on this rock. For the money, you're not going to find anything that even comes close to it. So they're going to need it. That's why they made it a strategic metal. And I do believe they're showing their hand by telling you that, hey, copper is remember, like a copper top battery, right? So I'm not a prophet. I just watch cycles. So I already got ahead of this cycle once. I'd like a couple get. I know there's a company right now that has copper rounds, and you have one more day to purchase through this company. And I don't know if that sale is going to hold, because somebody could go in and buy it up. Like if you look online right now, you cannot find any copper rounds, any copper bars for sale. So most people pay with a computer screen, 0101, or tap a card or swipe or whatever. So it's the general public's not going to get in on this. They're not going to be able to. They already got cut off. Go online and try to tell me right now, where can you buy a 1 ounce round? Where is there a bit? Not from DM. I don't want to hear that company. I don't know who they are. They just came onto the sector, and from what I'm hearing, there's no customer service. You can't call and speak to anybody. I would never order from a company that you couldn't actually call and talk to somebody in person. So people are getting their metals from that company, but there's an extended wait period through that company. It sounds like it takes sometimes months to get your precious metals. So, well, copper in this case. So copper's not a precious metal, but they made it a strategic metal. So if the price of it goes up, it might push itself into that precious, would we ever see $10 an ounce for a round of copper that's already stamped with the purity, and it's rated a little bit different than silver. Silver is 999, 39's fine. They have a different rating. I think I don't want to say, I'm not that well versed in the copper sector, but again, I had some copper before, but somebody took it all when they took all my silver. So that'd be Marshall Rata, bitch, snitch, whatever his name is. He's the one who took all my precious metals. So I think here in the next week, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to report that again. Report that he took 40 pounds of my silver, and I had copper there as well. So go have somebody investigate and find out where this guy's at and hold him accountable. That's grand larceny. I want him arrested. So I have, like I said, it's Josephine County, Oregon. So I'm going to call them probably next week. I've been very busy here. So, but I'm not doing it out of vengeance. I'm doing it because, you can't take somebody's silver like that. And I've already reported it to Josephine County. They didn't do anything about it. So that's a whole separate lawsuit against Josephine County. So maybe, again, some of my stuff, it's getting a little bit past that time, but that's one that's still definitely within, there is a time limit when things, they can run out of time. But I still have time on that, because that wasn't, that was December of last year. So it's not statute of limitations, I don't believe, and it's the negligence of Josephine County, Oregon, that didn't go look for my silver, and when I had copper there as well, and gold. I think there was 12 or 13 pieces of gold. So we'll see where that goes from there. But again, I'm not trying to seek any vengeance, but I know that I had some copper buffalo rounds, and look at the price of them. Then I think I paid about $1, a little over $1 for those rounds. So but it wasn't the copper that it's the principality of it, So we'll cross that bridge there next week. I know that's something I'm going to be taking a look at, and I want to know where that 40 pounds of silver went. So we'll get to the bottom of it. And but let's enough about that. Don't tell anybody where your metals are at, and you won't probably have any issues with having them taken from you. So if you don't hold it, you don't own it. So you shouldn't tell anybody if you own it where it's at, and it probably won't get taken. Put it in a safe place and put it out of sight, out of mind. That's all I'll tell you. So, but who's invested in these precious metals? Not too many. It's a teeny tiny market. Again, we're talking about a $900 billion market cap on silver. So what do they got, a 3 quadrillion derivative market? If 0.01% of the derivative market moved into precious metals, it would blow the roof off of silver and probably make silver $3,000, maybe $30,000. It easily could. If a Bitcoin, a 0 and a 1 on a computer, could be worth over 100,000, you can't tell me that an actual physical asset that you can hold in your hand is not worth the same. That's just a 0 and a 1 on a computer. It's the belief, right? So if people get scared of the financial system, they always move to the safe haven assets, and that is gold and silver. Gold is an indicator of chaos. The higher the price of gold, the higher the chaos. Isn't gold at or near an all-time high? So things are not the same. This is definitely a different time. It's hard to believe that I'm in here during World War III video blogging on the interweb about it is what it is. It's going to be stories to tell. I don't think I'll ever have any grandkids. That's all right. Father didn't. Father doesn't, he knows what he's doing. So I don't think that's going to be a thing. So I don't think my son ever really wanted kids. So, but I don't even know where he's at or if he's alive at this point. So he got a long way to go to get his life to where he can have, children. So again, that's normally something that families, kings and queens and royalty, people who had a lot of money, they put away these precious metals for their children because it doesn't lose its value, its purchasing power. Price is a tool of manipulation. You're pricing it in dollars. The whole idea is to buy these precious metals for dollars, never trade them back for dollars. That don't make any sense. If you do, it's there, it's liquid, you can move it quickly. So it will serve its purpose. Like when I had to obtain legal counsel, I had to spend, $25,000 of my precious metals for an attorney who violated my constitutional Sixth Amendment right. So there was $25,000. That's a double cab Tacoma gone. Still got thrown in jail. So, oh well, I could have taken a deal, but I don't take deals. I don't contract with tyrants, or I don't make deals. So this ain't some here's the deal. That's always the first thing out of one of these tyrant thug road raiders. Here's the deal. There's no deal, man. What is this? Let's make a deal. You want to phone a friend or something? Pull on a lifeline? So either way, thought I'd come in here and for a little bit, see who's paying attention, who's asleep at the wheel. That's most people are NPCs, non-player characters. They got no skin in the game. So they won't invest in it until it's too late. It's kind of like all these silver all these stories online about silver. Oh, I went and somebody paid me in silver. Yeah, right. This is my grandma's collection. There's just so much talk about silver now. Very little talk about gold, but lots of talk about silver. So it's been a long time coming. You're talking about a market that's been manipulated for well over 100 years, and they can change silver at the click of a mouse. So you ever want to see somebody who covers the silver sector probably better than anybody, it would probably be Bix Weir at Road to Ruta. He covers silver like I haven't seen nobody else cover silver like Bix. Take it with a grain of salt. Mike Maloney at Gold and Silver Bull. Go watch him. He's got great content about the silver and gold sector. So too much for most people. Gold is it's out of most people's price range. You're talking about over $4,500 an ounce, and that's cheap for gold if you ask me. That's a steal. So silver under $100 to me is just way underpriced, and I look at the ratio. So it was 15-1 when they put it in our money, remember? So that's the ratio. God's ratio is 8-1, maybe 10, but it's more like 8 or 7. So every time they take out 1 ounce of gold, there's 7 to 8 ounces of silver that comes up with it. Silver is generally a byproduct of mining other metals, base metals like copper and ore and zinc and lead. So it's definitely worth more than all those. So when they pull that up, they take it and smelt that out of it too and refine it. So most of the surface silver is gone. And so I again feel as if most people are going to have to be forced to move in the copper market, but that's not a thing, man. Somebody came and bought up all the copper online. It's unbelievable. Like I said, on this channel, I was telling you to go out and buy big hunks of it because it was dirt cheap, even though it was way overpriced at, $6 a pound, $4 to $6 a pound when you're paying 30 or 40. But it's not going to matter if you start breaking it down into little, ignits and break it down into quarter and half ounces and 1 ounces of copper and put your little stamp on it, make it your own. But nobody did it. So that's okay. You were given a fair warning. I blew the horn early enough. I can't tell you something if it's already happening, right? Get in. I know if it's already happening, it's too late. So I have to sound the message early. I have to sound the horn early. I'm not to cause alarm, but so you get up off your fourth point of contact, your ass. Somebody's an ass. If somebody's stubborn, they don't do anything about it. They can't be learned. So I'm not trying to talk to people who are an ass. So talk to people who could have a hearing ear and that are proactive, not reactive. Most time people react, it's too late. 80% of the gains are made in the last 20% of the market. So you buy when it's too high and the market crashes. As it FOMO, the fear of missing out, and it shoots up. And it goes up really, it's like taking the ball under the water. The further you take that ball, the higher it's going to spring out of there. So the higher it comes up, the faster it's going to come and crash back down. So it's good to see what precious metals in the gold and silver markets. Gold is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Steady Eddie, just continual climb. So I sold my gold for $3,000. It's over $4,500 an ounce right now. So that was a hard one to do. I've never had that much gold. So, and I didn't purchase any of it. I traded for 98%. I started out with a little bit of cash and then bought something, but traded that up and traded out all the gold that I had. So kind of a hard thing to swallow, but whatever, it is what it is. It's just money. I don't care about it. I'd rather be dead than worry about, my finances. So I'm not struggling financially. So I'm actually retired. So thank you, Father, that I don't have to be forced to have, work for the man and worry about have an extra land payment. If I didn't pay it, I could just let it go. I'll be giving up a lot of money, but otherwise I have paid off and now sold all my other land. So, because I don't need 65 acres. So I've sold 25. So I still have 40. I have 20 paid off and I have a land payment on that. But it's not the end of the world if I didn't, make that land payment. This land is paid for. I have a place, here. I can live in multiple locations on this property. I don't have to stay in this building. I can finish building the building in the back and you move into the Rusty Butterfly if I wanted to live further away from the road or something, And then I've got a 50-foot underground shelter, which has a very nice feeling. It doesn't feel like a, apocalyptic. That's not that I am apocalypse. It doesn't feel like the, some military bunker. It's not a bunker. It's a shelter. So there's a whole nother living space. So I have plenty of room. Don't need to worry about chasing a paycheck. And thank you, Father, for giving me to work hard for all these years. And I remember 7 years ago, I had everything taken from me. I had to start all over from scratch. I mean, I had a lot of money invested into this property at the time, but I've since worked my fingers to the bone and have paid off all of it. I paid off 45 acres in the last, 4 or 5 years. So it's hard work. I don't sit around and blog all day. So, but who bought up all this copper, guys? Who bought up the copper? Was it Warren Buffett? He's sitting really heavy in cash, isn't he? More cash than anybody else on this rock. Was it BlackRock, Vanguard? Who was it? Was it the military? It's a strategic metal. Did the military come purchase all the copper? I said do this before this happened so that you can get your hands on it, but it's gone. I do know of one place, though, that still, you only have one more day to buy copper rounds at $2. It's $1.99 if you can pay with a bank wire, or it's $2.07 you pay with a credit card. Everything else, I told you, I bought copper rounds 4 days ago. I bought copper rounds, some buffalo rounds. That just seems to be the one that I like, obviously, right? Let me see if I can find a buffalo. And got a buffalo in here anywhere? Buffalo soldier. Oh, that's in my actual walk around. That's my pocket. I just tend to like the buffalo round. It's the design that I've always tried to get people to. There's just certain things I think that the public would recognize. And so buffalo looks like this. This is the design that I purchased right here, with the buffalo on the back and the Indian head on the front, like a nickel. So I purchased these for $2.07 4 days ago. They're now $3.99. They haven't even shipped out. They haven't even shipped from the company I purchased them from. I already made how much a round? Like $2 per round already. I've already almost doubled my money. $199 and more in shipping, and the shipping's free, so you don't have to worry about the cost average of shipping. So will anybody on this channel listen to me? Probably not. Does that matter to me? Not at all. It doesn't. I don't have any skin in the game when it comes to that. I'm just here as a messenger trying to get you ahead of the game. So I used to have this in gold. I have this same piece in gold right here. So the Coral Sea. But I had to get the attorney who violated my rights. Thank you, Father, for making me sell all my precious metals so that I can have my rights violated by a legal counsel. But that comes out of the Canadian Mint. There's the ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Oh, Queen Elizabeth. So, but right now, Sabrina, if you have any kind of credit card, and you can purchase more than one round, they're $5.19. You can't buy this design anymore. This design is actually back. It's $3.99. So, but if you buy one, it's $5.19. If you buy two, it's $3.99. So I purchased these for $2.07 because they were $1.99 if you paid for a bank wire, and I'm not doing a bank wire. So it's $2.07 per round, but these are now $3.99. There is, if you look on the front of the, on the JPEG, you see that silver, the copper bull and bear. That's a bull market's when the market's going up, and a bear market's when it's going down. So those rounds are available right now, and they're $2.07 a round. So there's no other online dealer. I haven't given it away who it is yet because nobody's shown any interest in it. I would suggest that you a little bit into some silver, but I think unless you got a large chunk of change, I think you might be better off right now going into the copper sector. I'm not saying that silver is not going to be. You won't even. These two are so far apart. Gold, it's $91 for this same piece of silver right now online, and it's $2.07 for a piece of copper. So a little bit more affordable for your pocketbook. Something you could put away for your children later. I mean, there's copper out there, but costs money to make Bear Bright. There's different ways, different kinds of copper. So right now there is one company online still selling copper rounds, and you have one day. When I was up in town, I went up and got a burger from the market, which was good. Thank you, Father, for. I don't like to waste money, but it's not. That was a good hamburger, and every once in a while you need to treat yourself. So there's only one distributor online selling copper right now, and they only have one more day. And I don't know if it's going to last, because there's actually 2 designs that they have right now at 207 around if you pay with a credit card. And that's what we all pay, with a debit card or credit card. So, I mean, even if you bought, well, you probably need to buy $200 worth so you can get your shipping for free, because you don't want to pay for shipping. You need to cost average that. Otherwise, you got to take and put that cost of shipping into each coin. And I don't know, the cost is more to, to Canada or than it is to the Americas. So you might have to pay more because you're paying with Canadian dollars. So I'm not sure. You should probably look at that and see. I'm not sure how that would work on being up in Canada. If you order from Canada, the price is probably higher. So I'm not sure. But one more day is all they have this sale, and it's the only online dealer right now with any precious metals. Yeah, pretty much twice the amount. So it is. Look at the price of gold in Canadian right now. Look at the price of silver. It's not the price it is in the Americas. Actually, America is the only place where silver is this cheap. Everywhere else, in Japan, it's $130. India, it's over $100. It's over $100 anywhere else. So you're not getting any $80 silver. It's $91 online for MapMex for this same round right here. 91 bucks. So I would definitely take a look, because that window is about to close in one day. And I tried to get Kevin to buy some, like I said, and he just didn't, he didn't seem to. That's okay. He's bought land and other things. He's invested in other things, but I really wish he would have purchased some more of these so that I could get access to some a little bit more. I'd like a little bit more exposure to the copper market. So I went like a ding dong and transferred my money into the wrong account that I had from PayPal into my Cash App, and then I moved from my Cash App to my bank. I swore I hit it to my bank, but I had to pay an extra little fee. Oh well, it was probably another couple bucks. But that's one more copper round. So 207 for a copper round right now. 207 is the price for a copper round from this mint, this online bullion dealer. So I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to try to let people, only unless somebody's interested, because otherwise I want the people who are interested in the market to get access to it. If I could put money in my account right now, I would buy more copper. I would. They only have the sale for one more day. My bank doesn't open until Monday, so there's nothing I can do. I've been shut out of the market because I don't have the funds available. I have cash, but I can't put it in my bank, so it won't be able to be put in until Monday. So it is what it is. Life's not Burger King, so, and you got to buy at least $200 to make it worth your time. So thank you, Father, for that. Either way, I'm here to try to, maybe one person will listen to me, and hear me and be able to, again, my price has already doubled on those Buffalo rounds that I purchased, and they haven't even shipped out yet. That was just like 3 or 4 days ago. So if you got $199 worth of cash, or well, not cash, because you can't pay with cash, you got to pay online. There is a company still selling them, but that's the only company online right now. And I don't know anybody who knows about this company. And I have been buying from this company for several years. They're very trusted. They're a really good company. I bought a lot of gold from them. They were the person that I bought my gold from when I purchased gold. So they have really good customer service. And actually, if you look up their company right now, it says there's a delay. So I'm wondering if my rounds that I just ordered now, because I cleared out my bank account, like I said, I didn't have very much in there, but it's what I had left over. It was supposed to be paying my car insurance and my phone bill, but I'll have to go back into town on Monday and put the money back in there. So I took that out and took the last that I had in the PayPal account and transferred that to my bank. Nope, it went to my Cash App. I said transfer to my bank. It went to my Cash App card. So I don't know why I did that. Then I transferred to Cash App. So I don't have any more money sitting in Cash App or PayPal. So that's okay. That's the only way you can support this ministry now. There's no more monetization of this channel. So that's okay. I'm not here to make money off anybody. I'm here to give to you. So remember, I gave some advice to somebody, I just won't disclose their name, and they've already made $100,000 on their investment. So that's pretty good. And that wasn't that long ago. They made this investment like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. That's a pretty big come up. So they invested quite a bit, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of double cabs. So that's how I look at it, like double cabs. Like, man, I ain't never going to have a double cab. But hey, I made that person another 5 double cabs. So, well, more than that, probably 6, 7 double cabs. That's okay. They can, I hope they're very well off and they get to use it for whatever they want to. It's their money, not my money. So I don't ask for some kind of, if you made somebody $100,000, you think they kick down a little bit? Probably not. Most people wouldn't, would they? So I have no expectations, but I know if somebody made me $100,000, I would help them out. I would definitely help them out. That's me though. That's the way I am. So if somebody made me $100,000, I would help them out. But I'm a service to other being. Everybody's different. So, but that's just, I'm that way. I know I couldn't help myself. If somebody's going to give me that kind of come up, I'm going to turn around and try to, give them a come up. So turn around and help them out. It's like if you lost your wallet or something, there was some money in there and somebody found it, you give them a little bit of money, right? You'd have all been lost. Why wouldn't you help a brother out? So I don't know. Everybody's different. I don't think like most people. So I know that most people are not like that. But like I said, good for them. They had enough money to invest to make that kind of money. It takes money to make money. So I don't want to give away their whole thing, but I think they had about $250,000 invested, and they've made probably over $1,000 in a few months ago. So that's outperforming anything right now, any stock, any bond, any coin, Bitcoin, or anything. So hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for the one person listening to me. So good for them. Good for them. Again, the next time I think I have, enough money to invest, I'll be putting this property on the grid. I won't be buying a double cab. So that's probably going to be about $60,000. So actually, the other day I went up to town and there was a single wide up there, and it's not actually a single wide. It's an office trailer. It's a 91. Man, I'd like to get my hands on that thing and bring it out here and set it out here, but it's just out of my price range right now. They want $25,000 for it, but it's a really nice building. It has a huge heat pump and a air conditioner on the front of it. So it's a nice building. It is. It's got real tall ceilings for a trailer, but it's not a trailer. It's an office building. So it's got a little bit different layout, but it's a big building. I think it's 53 feet. It's quite a long building. So, but we'll see what goes on here at the ministry. I'd be giving it to the ministry. I wouldn't be buying it for myself. I'd buy it for the ministry. So I don't really invest in me. That's my problem. I could go buy a bunch of things for my self, but I don't do that. I pay off the ministry and buy other things for the ministry and buy things for other people. So very seldom, or when I get a pile, somebody just steal it all. And it's kind of crazy. The people who take from me generally tend to be pretty well off. They do. They don't need it, but they somehow take it from me anyway. So that's the way Father does it. So I just have to deal with it. It's not the end of the world. I get back up on my horse and I put my teeth back in my head if you knock them out, and I come back and I ride, or I live to fight another day. So just sucks when people, it'd be somebody if they didn't have money and they took from you and they could come up, but these people already have money. I'm saying most of the time, anybody who takes a good chunk from me, like Marshall Radisnitch, like he's not suffering. I know he's not. He's got plenty of, whatever. And 98% certain he's the one who took all my gold and silver. So, just like my younger brother, he's the one who took all all the 25 pounds. This time it was 40 pounds and the gold. So, but oh well. Then I had to give it all up to get an attorney who obviously didn't even give me the defense. Legal counsel violated my right of discovery and my suppressed evidence at my trial and did not bring witness and call witness in my favor. So I got to get on that and I got to get on that very soon. I don't want to wait and live with that. I'm going to be suing that attorney, whether he likes it or not. I told him don't do that, and he did it anyway. So he shouldn't feel weird when he gets sued. Notice, when he gets that thing, I told him, do not bring me to court without my son or daughter with summonsing. That's my right of discovery. Do not bring me to court without my son and daughter being there, or at least make an attempt to have them there, or you're violating my rights and it's a mistrial. But he just didn't listen to me. So I'm not going to have any qualms when I say, guess what? I'm suing you. So I want the money that I paid you, and I want $250,000 to $1 million from you, and I'm not going to settle for any less. And I'm not going to have any qualms doing it. So that I will be starting next week, and I'm going to be starting my lawsuit against Josephine County. So I've got the other suits, and they're having issue because there is time, but the statute of limitation, because I put my faith in Father and I didn't try to go after and chase dollars. I let Father deal with it. This is where I'm at. So, but my rights were violated again, over and over. I keep getting my rights violated. So I'm going to sue Josephine County for not calling for service and then going there, because come to find out, my daughter I didn't have a no contact order with her. So they failed to call for service. My daughter was potentially alive at that time. So I want Josephine County, Oregon accountable. So that's why I'm trying to take care of my body and make sure I can keep myself healthy enough. But that's okay. I got a little bit of copper coming. So anybody who makes money on my back is going to probably end up having to pay double back for what they did to me. And even if they get away from it in this lifetime, they're not going to get away with it at judgment. So I don't feel that's not going to be a good day for those people who took from me, because anybody that took from me, I tried to help out. People burn me when I help them out. We've all been there. We've all been there. I give somebody an inch and they take a mile. That's the way it works. Like I told Marshall, take the gold, do not touch my silver. He took it anyways. Fucking thief. Marshall Radanich, you're a thief. You ever watch this message? You're a thief and a snitch. And you took my dog from me, and now he's dead. You took months and months of my dog from me, where I could have spent months. I should have called PETA on your sorry ass for the condition of my animal when I received my dog Tango back. He was appalling on how disgusting his body was. Haggard. The dog looked haggard, He was not in good shape. So, and I begged him for months and months and months and months to let me come pick up my dog if he wouldn't bring him back. So I'm not going to have any problems suing Marshall Radanich as well. I'm going to place a civil lawsuit against Marshall Radanich for what he did. So we'll see if the statute of limitations is up on that case. So, but that's all right. I'm not seeking vengeance. Remember, it's only accountability. So I have a lawsuit against my attorney at the very least. I was explaining that to Kevin today. I'm not worried about any of these other lawsuits. Josephine County, absolutely, I want accountability for that. Why they didn't go look for my daughter. So they should look for my daughter. They lied to me and told me I had a no contact order with her, and I did not. They dropped her charge in September. There was no contact order was dropped. There was no contact order was not in effect. So they lied to me. They're liars and thieves. And they could have cost, they could have went there that day. And even if they would have arrested my son, look at how much time he'd have under his belt right now. And I could go visit his ass, even if he didn't like what I did in jail. He might not say, I don't want to see my dad. And then it wouldn't, but at least I could put money on his books for him. Now he's probably laying up there in Wolf Creek, Oregon in the mines, dead, rotting with my daughter. I did my investigation. I went and made several contacts the other day when I was not here and went and did my investigation, and nobody knows where they're at. Nothing, not a sign of either one of them. So it's not a good feeling, but it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about what I can't change. I worry about what Father will allow. So it's been a long struggle, but like I said, now I'm considering going back to jail and talking with the district attorney and talking with the so I can get this out and get it underneath my belt. I don't want to be on probation for 3 years. It's bullshit, and shouldn't be on probation to begin with. Nothing's ever been looked at. Even after all this time, I try to talk to the probation officer about my son, and he puts me off. He won't talk about it. So, but I'd like to get it knocked out. I don't want to be on probation for, well, I can't leave the state, or I can't even hardly leave the county for, 3 or 4 days. I have to report to my probation officer. That's bullshit. I'm just a dad who used my right to redress grievances. That's what I explained to him. I'm not this bad guy with these, I got felonies because I used my mouth. I didn't hurt anybody. Wasn't armed. It was my mouth. I said, hey, you can't do this. And they threw me in jail because of it, battered me and assaulted me. So I waited too long on that case. So it is what it is. They got away with it. They got away with it, man. That's what I get for putting all my faith in Father, right? Father will take care of it, and Father doesn't want anything to happen, so oh well. Bunch of thugs came out here and hit me in the face with a grenade, and they got away with assault and battery, attempted murder. So they won't get away with it at judgments. When Father judges them at the final trump, that's it. The whole world's going to see what they did to me. So you'll get to face your accuser. Remember, like a stoning, your accuser get to come throw a, So I'm not throwing any stones. I'm not casting stone. That's not what Father will do that for me. So he'll take care of that. But remember, I still have a current lawsuit. I'll take a look at that in the future. So I'm not going to hesitate on these last two. I need to get my ass up in gear and going on this Josephine County. That's not, the statute of limitation hasn't not run out on that. I just went to trial, in December. So we're just a month away. So I will be taking and placing suit against my criminal attorney for denying me, violating my right of discovery under my Sixth Amendment right to call witness in my favor. He did not. Neither did the district attorney. So I'll be placing a lawsuit against Josephine County and the judge too for allowing that. I called for change of venue because I knew I could not get a fair trial, and they did not give me a fair trial. So I can prove that. So I'll be pursuing that. I'm not going to put a delay on that. I'm already moving forward with that. So I'm not going to hesitate. I waited way too long on the first case, but that's what happens when you have faith and you're not trying to chase dollars, because I don't want the money. I want accountability, and I'd like to know where my son and daughter are at. So I ain't never going to have no grandchildren if I can't find them. And I'd like to have a grandchild one day. I'd like them to get their life back and not be looking over their shoulder the whole time. My son was shot with his hands in the air. My daughter was grenaded in her sleep. They're both probably freaked the fuck out right now. Don't want anything to do with law enforcement. Probably scared anytime I see a cop, their heart just pounds in there. I don't want them to live like that. So fathers make them live like that, right? Or they're safe or they're dead. So God knows I've tried. I have all the evidence in here to show it, to prove it, and all my actions off of this, live stream. So it's not for lack of effort. Not like I didn't try. It's not like I'm still not trying to pursue to get somebody to try to find. I just went and did my own, days and lots of hours of trying to investigate where my son was last seen, known, who saw him. You don't have a lot of friends, but locations where I've seen him in past, and nobody knows where he's at. It's crazy how nobody even cares where he's at. So, along with his wife, nobody cares. So, I care. At least if one day they see this stream, they'll know that, hey, my dad still cared. He got thrown in jail over me. My son hates me because I helped him out. That's a bunch of crap. I'm not buying that at all. That don't add up to me. So, like I said, he's supposed to be moving here on the 20 acres. The other one, like I said, I apologize. So anyways, this would be a good time for you to invest in, yourself. How about that? So that's what I should probably do, is take care of myself more. But it's so hard for me to do that, brothers, sisters. I want to, help other people. So service to self or service to other beings. So I'll let Father handle it for me and fight my battles, and I'll just continue on to do what I'm doing. So that's why I'm here. I'm doing this live stream to let you know that if you have any ability, there's only one online dealer right now selling copper rounds, and none of you know where that's at. And I already told you how well I'm invested. I told Kevin when I purchased those that they're $2, which is a steal. That if I purchased them and I ever had to sell them, I'd sell them for $4 at the minimum, and showed them online. That's what everybody's selling copper for right now. You go online, it's $4 for that same piece of copper that I just bought for $2. And they haven't even shipped them out yet. So they have some more at $2. If anybody's interested, I haven't given out the name of that company yet, but I would suggest buying at least $199. When I transferred that money, it was a couple hours ago. There was 1 day and 2 hours left where they have this a limited sale. So everything else that they have is, there's only 2 1 ounce copper rounds that are on sale right now. Everything else that they had was $2. Now it's $4. Everything was $2 for the 1 ounce rounds. Now it's $4. Even the ones that I purchased 4 days ago have gone up double already. And I haven't even shipped out. I haven't even got my tracking number on them. So, again, this ain't no get rich. You ain't going to get rich on this. But this is something that'll hopefully secure some kind of investment for you. So I know I've done already well. I already just showed it to Kevin. That's why I said, hey, Kevin, I think you should go in and invest on this. And he's fine. He's got land and he has what he needs. So he doesn't need to invest anything. He's already done very well too. Kevin's done very well following, some of the trends. I haven't gotten anything wrong when it comes to silver. If you had Kevin on here and asked him, Tracy started talking about silver many months ago, has he been wrong about anything? He'll tell you, no, I've hit every single marker that I told him that was going to happen. Every one of them. So, and I'm not a prophet. I've just been in this sector for decades. I've been watching these markets. I'm an attention to detail kind of guy. So I pay attention to cycles. So that's why I was trying to get you ahead of copper, and I've already beat that now. I'm having my Noah moment, brothers, sisters, and there's still a little lifeline out there if anybody wants to grab a hold of it. That's what I'm saying. There's still one available. There's one lifeline out there, and it's so crazy because I can go and I could probably have 100 of you in this room. We ain't getting no 100 people in here anymore, but I don't think any of you, one of you, know this company that I'm talking about, and they're a very reputable dealer that I've bought for years from, so I know there's no issues with this company at all. So they're the company that I bought all the gold that I purchased from, that Marshall took from me. So I think he did. I don't think he went and bailed my son out with that gold. I think he kept it. That'd have been smart of him, but he did. Look at what he'd be sitting on now. So I think that's what he did with it. I think that Father, that would be how it would happen, is that he kept it. And he told my son that I didn't bail him out of jail. My son doesn't know anything about what's going on. So, but no worries. No worries. Like I said, I'm not trying to get anybody rich. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to invest. Invest in food. If you don't have a lot of food, like years and years with food, you do have no business being in any kind of asset market. Invest in you, and Invest in food, because food's going to get more expensive. It's going to get a lot less quality. So it's not going to get better. Invest in a freeze dryer. There you go. That I'll say. Go invest in a freeze dryer. Go within with one of your friends or family members and buy a freeze dryer. That's probably the best investment money can buy. And that's fine. Those are always been good things to invest in. Bullets and band-aids, right? Bombs and bandages, whatever. So bullets were like money, in the past. They always spend real well. They are a good trade item. So got to have a way to protect your stuff. I remember. So water filtration. Yeah, no, they have. Unbelievable. They're absolutely. I'm not, telling you to invest in firearms, but they have been a great investment, and they always will be. Even people used to ask me. It's like my younger brother. He took probably $30,000 to $50,000 worth of ammunition from me, just in ammunition alone. People used to tell me, "Why are you buying all that ammo? You don't even have those kind of weapons." I'm like, because these are the common type of. Most people use these, and I don't have these. Why would I not buy those? Because I can't even imagine. When he took that from me in 2017, that was about $40,000 worth of ammunition that I had put away. Just in ammunition alone. That didn't include any of my weaponry that he took from me out of my safe, broke my safe open, and took all my precious metals and my cannabis seed vault. That's the one that kind of hurt me, man. So to go all those years collecting seeds, and I had a massive seed vault, and you just threw them all the trash and burn them. So what a piece of dog shit he is, but whatever. I don't have any vengeance towards him. He made his own bed. So we'll make a comment on that. I don't think seeds will be something that I would buy seeds and put them away for yourself, but I don't think you'll be able to grow any food in the future like people think. You're definitely not going to grow it in rows. That's a good way to get yourself run over. So people see garden, they're hungry, they're going to come take over your garden. So it's kind of like people see cannabis plants and they're going to come take them even if they're not ready. How stupid is that? But I would get the burpee and whatever, all these other ones. I have a separate seed vault that's not heirloom, non-genetically modified open pollinated seeds. I have those, and I would trade with those, because people aren't going to think of that. Like you said, they're just not going to think of that. So because everybody says you got to have seeds, and I agree, but how are you going to be able to grow food? Invest in something like this. Let me tell you, because this will probably be so much more valuable, because it's already cooked. See what I'm saying? This is already prepared. You think you're going to be preparing food and growing food when things are, broke down even more than they are. Look at the state of the union right now in the U.S. It's getting pretty bad pretty quick. This is already prepared. This is 2 meals. 2 meals. Remember? Not just 1 meal, but 2 meals. And if you divided that up with some canned vegetables, whatever, maybe a squirrel and chicken and mashed potatoes. Ooh, barbecued squirrel goes good with chicken. Bet you hardly have a hard time telling the difference once I put it in there. But this is already prepared. Just like you're not going to have time to grow food. You're not going to have time to cook it. You might have time to heat something. You can even eat this raw if you had to. It's not bad. It's not raw. It's already cooked. My bad. Without reconstituting it. So this is off the chain. There you go. This would mix good. This yellow chicken and squirrel curry and rice would go good with rabbit. Silly rabbit tricks are for kids. So seriously, you're not going to prepare food, brothers and sisters. It's getting more expensive. Your power bill, I make my own power, but to become in power, you're in a smart meter. You're not very smart. But that's right. You're giving away your position. Good stuff there. not some anthrax there for you. But this to me is you know, you can get warmers that don't make you know, very little heat sink. Like in an MRE, you can buy those warmers, you know, but you can get a small, you know, blue flame or something that's not going to make a big fire, propane, and heat up a little bit of water, and it's already cooked. It's going to get more and more expensive. Firewood is going to be $300+ a cord next year. Period. Gas is expensive. Chainsaw, bar oil, chainsaws, or, you know, the actual chain, it all costs money, you know, just like it costs money to take precious metals out of the ground. That they just not, you don't just grab them and throw them. They don't come in the form of a coin. It takes a lot to make this metal get into this, you know, it just doesn't happen. So you're not growing food. You're not probably going to be able to have a lot of time to prepare food, and the power bill is going to get more expensive every year. And this is already done. Can you put a price on that? You know, what do we got here? Peaches and pineapples, baby. Peaches and pineapples from 2019. This is a freeze dry. I freeze dried my own. So this fruit. You telling me the fruit's better? This is non-genetically modified. This is from 2019. I was very particular about what I freeze-dried, high-quality food. So, can you put a price on that? It's already done. It's already been prepared. You think you're going to have time to prepare? You can't put a price on that. You just can't, brothers and sisters. I know that people think they're going to have the time to grow food and cook food, and no, you're not. No, you're not. You know, this is already. You got to think about this. You got to buy the 7 mil Mylar bag, right? You got to buy the oxygen absorber. You got to buy the food. This is chicken curry. So you got to buy the peas. You got to buy the squash. You got to buy the red peppers. You got to buy the chicken. You got to buy the rice. You got to buy the seasoning. You got to prepare it. That costs money to prepare. Then you got to clean up after yourself. You got to put it into the freeze dryer. The freeze dryer is not like a microwave. Throw your microwave away. But it can be as simple as a microwave, but it takes about 2 to 3 days to get this to where it's in this state. 100% without any oxygen, without any moisture, with that, you know, to get it to this state. That all costs money. Then you got to take it out, put it off of the trays, put it into the bag, seal it up. It costs money. You got to use your sealer, right? I double seal mine. See? I double seal. See, there's a seal up here and a seal down here. The sealer. And then you got to clean up all your trays that you had your food in. Wash them. That all costs money. People forget that. When you buy this meal, you didn't have to do any of that. These are $10.99 for 2 meals. Oh, those are so expensive. No, they're not. I went and paid $10.49 for a burger up at the local store. $10 for a burger in a burger and fries is not bad in this modern day. I know it seems like that's not, and I don't money. So this is unbelievably reasonably priced. The quality of it is, remember, I have another company over here. I don't know what it was. Freeze-dried wholesalers has about 3,000 different products that you can buy. That's even higher quality than this company Mountain House. Okay, but this has sodium in it. It's not perfect, but it sure goes good with squirrel and rabbit and deer. Never heard of a recall on venison, have you? So this is priceless, man. This is worth every single penny because it's already prepared. All right, Sabrina, you go get me some of that whale. You know, we're going to cut up a little bit of that or seal, and we're going to put that in, and we're going to make all this go a lot further, right? We've got it on ice. She's in Canada. So, in fact, it's cold as hell. Oh, Rocket Man. But anyways, you can't put a price on this too, brothers, sisters, you know. So what's more valuable? You're laying next to a big old Comex bar or a big bar of gold. You think you can't eat it and you don't have any food. You're going to be like, damn, I should have invested in some food, huh? Can't put a price on food, brothers, sisters. Okay? You should have a lot of food, lots of food. And Even things like this in a Mylar bag are going to last a long time. Beans. Beans are good. When you're hungry, beans and rice are really good. They are. Look at that poor bag, guys. It has no more writing on it. And I wore all the writing off of that bag. That's hilarious. We've had that for quite some time. We've been using this on the ministry. Look at our bag of rice. It has no more label on it. We wore the label off of it. So, Pappy's Pantry, beans. You know, I told you that I think before the end of 2026, this bag of beans will be $20. $20. What's this, a buck something right now? $1 something right now for one of these bags of beans? 20 bucks before the end of 2026 for this same bag of beans. I'm not a prophet. I just pay attention to cycles. So think about this. You know, you got to soak these, remember? You got to cook these. You got to cook rice. These are already prepared. It's already been prepared for you. So definitely think about, you know, what it is that in your future on how you how you can negate some of these things and get ahead of some of these steps. This is a great way to do it. This pineapple is off the chain that I put in here. It really is. You know, the pineapples and peaches, I remember the ones that these did, you know. Yeah, some people you can. You can eat. Like this is already prepared. This you could eat just like this. Yeah, be careful with some of your protein powders because they add a lot of extras. There is good protein powder out there, okay? Whey powder or protein powder, but careful, some of these things, flip your labels over. If you can't read it, don't buy it, don't eat it, okay? Remember, some of these things should not have all these extra ingredients, so careful. I have protein powder put away, okay? I have some, but make sure you're getting stuff that doesn't have additives to it. You want to be really healthy. You don't want to be eating crap food when things are getting harder. You need high nutrition, high protein dense food. You're going to want to perform well if things are not, you know, let's say you got to stay up night and play fire guard. Somebody's got to watch your back so you can sleep, right? You're going to want to be alert, stay alive. You know, you got to endure to the end to be safe. So careful with some of your protein powders, okay? There's good ones out there. Do your research. But there's off-brand stuff that there we go. They'll start eating themselves, remember? Eat your kids. Oh. There's not enough hamburger, there's not enough cows just for McDonald's, brothers and sisters, in this corporation America to feed just the McDonald's Big Macs and cheeseburger crowd alone, okay? That's not to all beef patties, okay? Like I said, I've never heard of a venison recall, you know. So, exactly. You don't want to be in that. You want to be in your own little clan, if you will, your own little community. Like, all right, you go get the squirrel, you go get some, you know, chanterelle mushrooms, and we'll add it to our, you know, chicken, or, you know, chicken and squirrel, or chicken and rabbit, or, you know, and chanterelle mushrooms, or, you know, there's a lot of other things you can forage for too. That's another great, you know, thing to put your eye on is get a foraging book right now. Go to the area that you live in and find the bark that you can use, and the flowers that are edible, and the roots and the berries, and the, you know, and find the things that are in your area that's, you know, indigenous to this area, you know, and learn how to forage right now. People die and they can go into the woods and feed themselves, but they die with an arm, you know. I wouldn't eat flesh. That's the word masse, but M-A-S-S-E, masse is the eating of human flesh. So, you know, get some stores put away right now. You don't go to the store when they're closed to buy food, right? You be down there fighting the last person for, you know, box bagged and canned poison, or fighting for the last roll of teepee for your bunghole. That's real wise of you. You know, no knowledge. People are just blind as a bat when it comes to some of this stuff. And preparedness is a mindset. You know, some of the most mentally stable people on this rock. Oh, crap. Oh, hold on. Let's do something about that, honey. All right, we got that taken care of. You ready to go fishing? Let me take you to your, our favorite fishing hole, honey. So, well, you're going to do whatever you want when you've got extra, when you're in good hands, right? When you got in that insurance, when you got that extra oil. So people have said, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. They got many plans. An A plan, a B plan, a C plan. They don't just have one, oh my God, let's run down to the store, honey, because let's hoard everything and buy it all out. They go there and they buy a couple extra, those 36 rolls every time they go to the store. Then they're like, oh, honey, hey, Sabrina, go grab the lawn chair, honey. Here we are. Flip the little clamp channel. I don't have a TV, but click the channel change. Here they are fighting over toilet paper. Man, that closet, we got toilet paper coming out the closet. What are we going to do? We ain't got enough room in there. I don't know, honey. We'll figure something out. Stick it in the dishwasher or something. I don't know. Stick it in the, wouldn't that be nice to have more teepee than you need to know? No, you're going to be down there fighting the last toilet paper roll, fighting for it. That's not the time to go buy toilet paper, okay? You don't fix your roof when it's raining. You fix your roof when it's dry. You don't go to the store when they're closed. You go when it's still available. People are very reactionary. They don't, they react. They're not proactive. They're reactive. That's society. 80% of the gains are made in the last 20% of the market. So people don't normally get into things until it's way too late. You know what I'm saying? So right now is a good time. All the stores are open. The POTUS has not put on, the captain has not put the fasten seatbelt sign on yet. So you are still free to move about the cabin, and you're still, can go get these things, If you live in Oregon, Bi-Mart runs these meals on sale for $7.99. They just had their buckets on sale for $79. $79. I think that's 12 meals. Now, a couple of them are granola, but that's still a screaming deal. That's like $8.99 a meal. They're $10.99. They run them for $7.99, and they're 2 meals. Remember, not 1 meal. It's not 1 meal. It's 2 servings. 2 servings. What does that say? It used to say that on there, but it is. See, here's 1 serving. Here's 1 serving. We're protein. Here's 2 servings. So this gets split up 2 separate meals. You're not going to eat real heavy like that anyways. I mean, you're going to eat, but you're not going to want to, as much as I probably wouldn't want to do that, but something like this. See, this has peas. Well, this is a little bit processed, Bryce. This is not completely, this is one of the better companies out there. Okay, this has some sodium in it. If you're looking for high quality, you want to go to freeze-dry wholesalers. They're completely natural, organic. That's the best freeze-dried company on the market. I got my own freeze-dried meals. So I freeze-dried food for years, okay? Like that's from 2019, and it'll be good for 20 years from now. Pineapples and peaches, 7 mil Mylar bag. So preparedness is a mindset. Preparedness, like I said, remember I just spoke about this. This is already prepared. You got to go get the chicken. You got to go get the mashed potatoes. You got to go get the seasoning. You got to, cook the chicken. You got to prepare all that. You got to boil the potatoes. You got to do it. It's already done for you. So if this one like this has got peas in it, so add some more peas. Add a can of peas to it. Add, maybe go forage for some wild vegetables. Something in there, some shiitake or some chanterelle mushrooms would go off the chain in there. Add mushrooms to that. Get more out of it. Maybe you can add some more rice to it. That go a long way. There is chicken in every bite of this, and there's chicken in every single bite to the last bite. I don't know how Mountain House does this, because I just stir it up and mix it. With this meal, every bite's got like 3 or 4 pieces of chicken. Every bite has 3 or 4 pieces of chicken, even down to the bottom of the bag. Your last couple, 2-3 bites have chicken in them. This is a great company. They're out of Albany, Oregon. Okay. I live in Oregon. I don't get any, man, I wish Mountain House would sponsor me. I'm going to call them up and say, hey, will you guys sponsor me as a channel? They probably won't when they look at the channel content, but whatever. I don't get any royalties from any of these companies. Life Straw, Sawyer, Mountain House. Some of these people bring these companies on and they get money from these companies. I don't get any of that, but I try to help people out, and show them what I have done in the past and what I know that works. So I have eaten. Look on Mountain House. Look at the company. Look at the reviews on this company. Nobody has anything derogatory. They don't have any bad reviews. All their meals are good. Every meal that I have gotten from Mountain House has been outstanding. Good quality. The lasagna, the chicken and dumplings is definitely my hands down my favorite. I love the chicken and dumplings. Everybody says the biscuits and gravy are off the chain. I don't eat pork, but says the biscuits and gravy are excellent. Biscuits and gravy out of a bag, yeah. They said even the biscuits are good, So this is a good company. And like I said, look at that bag. It's full. There's a lot of food in there. There's a lot of food in there. Okay, so this is a good company. I would not recommend anything that I don't eat. Normally, for your information, these companies that sell food buckets and survival, if there's some kind of fear involved, don't buy from that company. And a lot of that stuff is just filler. Pancakes and potato. You guys, you can go get that instant potatoes. You can get that stuff. If it's a company that's trying to sell you on My Patriots, that's garbage. That stuff is garbage. There's no protein in there. Very little, animal protein. Very little meat. Look at what I'm saying. Stay away from these companies. They've got these buckets that are trying to sell you for some kind of fear or some kind of, survival. Stay away. These are backpacker meals. Backpacker's Pantry. That's another one. I don't think the quality is as good as this, but I've eaten several of their meals and they're okay. They're not as good as these, but hey, if you mix two together, they would probably be really good. So don't go after these survival type stuff. There's just, it's a bunch of filler. They're hoping you buy these buckets, stick them in your closet and never use them and never eat them. Buy something you're going to want to eat. Get out there, and that's why I started eating up a lot of the stuff that I had. I've been going back and replacing. I ate for a couple years now. I went back and started saying, I got nobody here to join me. I got all this food, and I didn't even know about these meals that I had. I bought these meals for so many years. I'd forgotten that I bought for other people that I never planned on eating them. I planned on sharing them with other people, and I said, well, there's nobody here to share any of my time or whatever. I'm just going to start eating them myself. And it's convenient. Like I said, this meal is 2 meals. I've eaten it all in one sitting, but it keeps me full for, almost the whole day if I eat one of these. So, because it is two meals. So this is a great way. Again, you can't put a price on this is already cooked and prepared. If you have to buy the 7 mil Mylar bag. There's an oxygen absorber inside of it, inside the bag. You got to pay for that. You got to prepare the chicken. You got to prepare the rice. You got to prepare this has got peppers in it, peas in it, squash, and you got to get all that prepared. The chicken, and then you got to cook it, and you got to put it in. You got to put it in the freeze dryer. That all costs money, and then you clean your dishes when you're done. Then you take it out after 2 or 3 days, and then you got to clean the dishes when you're done. You got to put it in the bag, and you got to seal it. That all costs money. This is already, and these are good meals. I would not recommend anything that I don't eat. I wouldn't recommend eating it every day. But you could supplement 1 or 2 meals a day, absolutely. And who wants to eat, soups with no chicken in it? A lot of these companies that are selling you on the idea of fear or survival are not selling you any kind of high quality. Like I said, they're hoping you buy this stuff and you just stick it away and you forget about it. And buy something that you want to eat. Buy something that your family likes. Buy something your kids like. Try it out with the kids. Maybe they hate one of these meals. Don't buy no more of those. Maybe you like them. But buy something you're going to want to eat later. You don't want to get stuck when you can't go to the store, because anything could happen. We could have an EMP from, some nefarious, or we could have the sun could do it. It could be many things that could take our grid down here in the Americas, and you can't go to the store for a couple weeks. Honey, we're good. We're good. We already have plenty of this stuff put away for a rainy day, and the kids will just stay indoors, and we won't turn that damn TV off. It's just depressing. We'll go listen to it in the other room. And then too, right now, I want to bring that up. Go to the store and buy the thing that's going to lift your morale. I'm a United States Army veteran, and there's a reason they put that little candy or whatever, little treat, you know, whatever. There's always some kind of beef jerky or something inside of a meal ready to eat. Like I have some of those right here. I'm not going to pull them out, but you know, an MRE. Get some of those too. They're not the greatest, but if you're not eating them every day, they're not that bad. Supplement them. Eat them every third day or every fifth day. You know, and like I said, you cannot put a price on something that's already prepared. It's already ready to go. All you got to do is heat some water up, let it sit in there for about 6-7 minutes or something. It's ready to go. And these have a zipper on them too, so you can seal these up. Right? There's a zipper on that. You know, like a Ziploc in there, so you can actually eat part of it, or you could take half of it out and seal it back up. It's going to be okay if you open it up for, you know, a couple weeks. If you don't get to the other half or something, you'll be fine. It's not going to go bad. You know, it like I said, it's got an actual, you know, zipper on this. This one doesn't. Obviously, these are the ones that I made. You can buy these with zippers. I have some now that have, but when I first started out. But you can always take and cut right here and then reseal it. Cut it down and reseal it. Cut it down and reseal it and reuse it. I reuse everything. You know, I'm a repurpose guy. So this is a great way to invest in something that you have, so that when you get enough of that, you can start and invest in something like precious metals, you know, something where you can have something for your children later and you can put it away. They got good reviews, Mark, and I use them. If you look through Mountain House Meals, you really don't see anybody, oh, this sucks, it's garbage. People are like, man, I like those. Because remember, this isn't a survival. Oh my God, end of the world. Yeah, fear porn. This is a backpacker's meal. People take these out and go hunting and hiking and go into the woods, and they take these with them. They're light. They can put them in their backpack. It's not heavy. You know, they get some water from a stream. They boil it off. They pour it in there, and this is something you can eat when you're out in the woods. Hey, honey, there's some chanterelle mushrooms. Let's add some chanterelle mushrooms to this. I'm not a curry, guys. I really didn't eat a lot of curry going up. This meal is excellent. I'm telling you, this is one of my top 3 meals now. I didn't realize I had these. I bought these years ago, and I started breaking stuff out because there's just nobody coming out here to join me. So you got to start rotating your stock, right? So I pulled some out and I tried this. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like that because I'm not much into curry or whatever. And man, this meal is off the chain. It's got a little spice to it. Might be a little spicier for some people who don't like spice, but this is an excellent, excellent meal. It's something I could probably eat this every other day. Every third day I could eat this. It's that good. I don't think I get sick of it. It really is that good quality. Like I said, with this meal, there's freaking chicken, and the chicken isn't some process. The chicken pulls apart. It's higher quality than I won't go to the store anymore. I raise my own food, so I don't go and buy chicken. Chicken is absolutely disgusting from the store. I don't care where you're getting it from. Chicken is foul. I don't eat pork. Pork is disgusting. If I raised it, I might, but I just don't eat pork. I ain't eating turkey ever again. Remember? I think I got poisoned with turkey. But every bite down to the last bottom has got 3, 4, 5 pieces of chicken in your last bite. I don't know how they do it. And I'll sit there and pick it out and go, I just scoop it out, scoop it out, scoop it out, scoop it out every bite. There's 3, 4, sometimes 5 pieces of chicken in every bite of this mashed potatoes. They used to make this with mashed potatoes, and there was a chicken breast, a whole chicken breast that you used to get with it. Now they do this, it's cut up, but the chicken is good quality. I don't like chicken from the store. You know, it makes me sick. The last time I tried chicken from the store, it made me sicker than a dog. So, and it was supposed to be organic chicken. It's just not raised properly, brothers, sisters. Mountain House is not the top quality meal out there, but they're definitely in the top 3. And if you look at the reviews, they have good reviews because you're not buying some survival, fear, My Patriot Supply, you know, whatever. There's several of them. This is a separate meal
that most people take out and take it hiking and backpacking, and they're out there in the woods, and they want some high quality, you know, if you're going to be hiking all day and you stop, you know, maybe mid and you eat half of the pouch and you eat it, you want good protein in your body, you know. So definitely love talking about this stuff. I constantly talk about it, guys, because it's something that I eat, it's something that I use. And I would never tell you to eat something that I wouldn't eat or use something I didn't use. I don't get royalties, you know. I should call up Mountain House and tell them, hey, I promote your product a lot. I'd like to have, you know, would you give me any access to? Maybe I will. They're out of Albany, Oregon. So I'm going to call them. I'll let you know. I'll update you. I'll call them next week and tell them, hey, I've been repping your meals. I'm not trying to sell the meals. I just tell people what, you know, how good of the quality is. You guys have good reviews online. Would you like to send me any of your new products and I'll do a review on them. We'll review them. We'll eat them here. We'll open them up. We'll, you know, send me a couple extras and I'll put them in my storage. So the channel's not monetized anymore. So, you know, I used to make about $100 every 2 months is about what I would average about, you know, that's $50 a month. I sometimes stream for 12 hours a day. Remember, 7 days a week. I stream normally every day. I haven't been recently, but I make sure I come in for at least a few hours every day. So, and so I've made up for all my 10 and 12 and 15 and 16. Remember, we do that on TikTok over there when I'd stream over there for, when I go to 12 hours, I'd stream for 12,000 subscribers, 13,000, I had 13, 14, 15, 15-hour live streams. Congratulations, channel, you hit 15,000. We're going to stream for 15 hours. So TikTok, I could generate about a couple $100 a month off of that. Not me, it just the channel itself does. So I'm not in this to make money, but again, if you want to support the ministry, there's links in the description. I'll use it for something wise. I'll probably go buy some copper. All right. Anyways, let's go back to this copper thing real quick. Obviously, these are high quality meals, and I wouldn't recommend something that I don't use or eat myself. So if you can't afford that, start with rice and beans. Get yourself a month's supply, you know. Yeah, they're good quality, though. They really are, Mark. They're good quality. There's never been one meal that I haven't eaten from Outhouse. The beef stroganoff is good. The chicken and dumplings is probably my favorite meal. It's like a home cooked meal. You know, it's just like, that's like this chicken and mashed potatoes. It's very grandma, you know, comfort food. You feel like it's, you know, you're not, wow, this, I love this meal, man. This chicken curry is outstanding. Right now, if you're in the Oregon area, Bi-Mart's running those buckets, which are normally over $100 or something. I think they're $79. There's 12 meals. 2 of them are granola, so granola's like $7.99. But do remember, there's 2 meals. Remember, this is not just one meal, because it's $10.99. That's, you know, that's $5.50 a meal. Where are you going to get a meal for $5.50 anymore? And like I said, if you mix something with this, add some canned, you know, peas or carrots, or, you know, it's going to go a little bit further, you know, fresh if you have it, you know, maybe not if it's cooked, but if you already have, you know, something like that, make these go a little bit further. I don't do it. I have a little bit, but, you know, if nothing else, and if you don't have that kind of funds, rice and beans is a good start. Okay. Rice, white rice, chicken stock, chicken rice, beef stock, beef rice. I can't find it anymore, but they used to have cilantro bouillon. I don't remember. I haven't seen it in forever. Okay. Tomato, that's Spanish rice, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of good prices. Look at your local, just local though, okay? Their prices online are about what you're going to pay for them in the stores. There really is very little variance. Somebody said they were cheaper on Amazon. No, they're not. No, they're not. Somebody said, oh, I get mine off Amazon and they're cheaper. No, they're not. I went and looked for myself, because when somebody made a recommendation, I want to find out if they're correct. They were the same price at Amazon. So, and they take these for people who have food cards. Even though you can't buy prepared meals, you can buy this. If you are low income, you can buy this with a food card. They even online, I saw some in the Amazon that says they take the what do they call that? EBT. They take these on EBT. You can buy these on the EBT. So people who don't have a lot of money can be buying these as well. Think about people who live in the inner cities who are food deserts, or basically they got the what I call the liquor store or the little chain store that's all got just a bunch of boxed bag. They don't have hardly any fresh vegetable, hardly anything. It's a near food desert. This is a great way to get food shipped to your door that's, you know, even better quality than you can get from your little. They don't really have in an inner city. You know, the poorest people are the most overweight. What? Well, I thought they were poor. They wouldn't have any money. No, they just don't have good quality food. They eat out of boxes and bags and cans, and they don't have high nutritious food. Very few fresh vegetables. So they're eating from the you know, the little deli or whatever out of the cabinets or whatever too. You know, they really don't have good access to food. This is better quality than most food you can get from the stores. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. The only way is to grow your own food, brothers and sisters. Come out here to the country where I'm at. I got property out here if you need something to stay. I'm not, you know, I've offered it. Nobody's ever taken me up on it, but that's why I sold. I had 65 acres. I'm down to 40. So I don't need all this land if nobody's going to share it with me. But if you can't, food banks are giving this away. Not as much as they used to. Boy, they used to give this stuff away. People didn't want this. People a lot of the times would just throw this away. They would. It sucks. I used to trade people. I'd go to a food bank and say, hey, you know, I go for a couple neighbors that don't go, and I go get food for them and drop it off at their place. And I'd say, hey, you know, here, I don't eat pork. I don't eat fish. Will you trade me this fish for those rice and beans? Hell yeah, I will. They get to eat now, but I get food for later. I'll be feeding them later. You see what I'm saying? Those people that didn't think about this stuff. So remember, don't have pride. Pride is a sin. If you can get access to a food bank and they're giving this away and you qualify for this, you're an idiot. You're stupid if you don't get it, is what you are. I don't care about an idiot. It means you don't know. You never heard it or seen it. That there's a difference between being an idiot and being stupid. You're just stupid. You know, what's the difference between having one black eye and two black eyes? You didn't listen the first time, did you? So, and not threatening anybody a black eye, but there's ways, brothers and sisters. You know, don't have pride, and the whole scarcity with cutting off the cards for the people who are low income is over. Now they can bring that back up again, but that caused kind of a spike at a lot of these food banks. That's kind of gone back away. People just like when the Vidco or the beer bug or whatever, it's over. People just went right back into their stupor. So go to the food banks, get rice, get beans, get as much as I don't eat pasta anymore. I really steer clear of pasta. I have some in these bags there, but I don't buy pasta anymore. Go get the pasta. It lasts a long time. Go get 7 mil Mylar bags, nothing smaller than 7 mil. This is a very thick bag. Notice I don't have it all freeze dried down or, you know, vacuum sealed. There's air. Look at, you see this all freeze dried down? Or, no, it's, you put this oxygen absorber in it and it's gonna cool out and outstanding. Mountain House is a good quality product. It's not the top. Wholesale freeze dryers is the top. You get lobster and shrimp and how about this? Just go and get yourself a freeze dryer if you're on the grid right now. They're not that damn expensive. Harvest Right has come down considerably. You can get a 4-tray online for sale for like $1,500 right now. You go in with your neighbor at like $750, guys. You couldn't, you know, there's company that sell like that company or that sell just straight pro. You know, a number 10 can of eggs is like $60 for a number 10 can. You know, the number 10 can, the larger can, you know, like that big, not your can like this, but that larger can. It's $60 for a thing of eggs. $60, guys. You know, it's getting more and more expensive. Those freeze dryers, if you have the ability to hook one up, go in with your neighbor. You do one tray, you do one batch, or I'll do it, you know, and you can just about freeze dry everything at the same time. Almost everything will come out, or if it's not dry enough, just run it through another cycle. You can never freeze dry something, you know, too much. You don't want to overdo it and waste time. But, you know, if there's any question that it's not dry, run it through one more cycle. You know, get a moisture meter and check it. They're not that expensive. It's probably $10 to $15 for a moisture meter that will tell you if there's any moisture left in the food. So good company. Again, it's company that I eat from. I have eaten these meals for 10 years plus. You can get them on the food stamp cards for the people who have our low income. So people who are access to low income does not mean they can't get good access to food. Okay. So, but if all push comes to shove and you just fill 4 or 5-gallon buckets full of rice and beans and such, I stay away from canned food. Canned food doesn't last unless it's like tuna or maybe like corned beef hash or something, some kind of meat or Spam or something that really doesn't, the vegetables don't last very long. And everybody knows, stop buying Campbell's. We know that's not good. Stay away from that company. Stay away from all that canned stuff if you can, for real. It's definitely not, you know, the quality of it is they put a liner in that can too. It's definitely changed. Old cans, they used to say last indefinitely. That's not anymore. I live in the desert where it gets hot and cold. If you're not climate controlling your cans, it gets one hot and one cold, and you try to eat it, it turns to mush. It literally does. Your carrots turn to mush. Your vegetables turn to mush. It's garbage. Beans are so-so, okay? But definitely try to get away from canned. And then I don't like the idea. I have pressure can. I water glass those eggs, guys. I kind of blew it with the eggs, but it's okay. I still got, you know, I think there were 6 eggs. 2 of them were no good. I rinsed the others off. That's okay. I learned from the first time. Next time, and I'm going to start going when I go to the Goodwill and finding jars that have a big lid on them, like a pickle jar would have been a much better jar where you can actually get your hand down there and set them in there. I'd put the eggs, I don't know if you were talking about water glassing, but I'll show you a couple different what I did here. So it's a learning experience, right? It's, you know, see, see this one, how nice and clear that is? I broke an egg in that one. And so it doesn't smell the best, but it didn't hurt any of the eggs that were in there. I ate 4 eggs today. Okay. The other one had a couple that were cracked in it. So learn from the experience. These ones will all be outstanding. Okay. There's one in there that busted, and you can see it in there. So it has a little bit of a smell to it, but I rinsed them off, and I had, you know, 4 eggs for breakfast with my enchilada that I didn't eat last night. So I'd have rather freeze dried these. I'll probably, you know what I'm saying? But I'll learn from my mistakes, you know, live and learn. Like I said, I pressure can. Here's some, I don't eat pork, but here's some pork. This is a chicken breast that I did, you know, a little dusty out here in the desert, but this, you can break these. I don't like the idea. I'd rather have it freeze dried. Personally, I like canned meats, but, you know, they're subject to cold, you know, they're subject to heat. So stay away from this kind of, if you can, stay away from this stuff. It's okay. But like I said, this stuff, you know, chili's not too bad, but it gets the heat, it gets cold, it kind of gets, it loses its quality. So you got to do what you got to do. You know, don't not put away food. I even go as far as, like, you know, like I should have used these jars. These jars have probably been better, like a wide mouth. But like, this is jasmine rice. I don't even have an oxygen absorber in that. But I even put away things just like this, rice, jasmine rice, you know, bags, and put it, that's my favorite kind of rice, jasmine rice. So no excuses why you can't do this, guys. There is plenty of ways right now. Again, the captain has not put on the fasten seatbelt sign at this point in time, so you're still free to move about the cabin, so to speak. Well, I'm in the cabin right now, but not this cabin. But yeah, there is better quality. And then there's quality you can step down from. But if you're hungry, these rice and beans taste good. And I already said you can take this rice and get chicken stock and beef stock, white rice, tomato bouillon, and you've done it 4 ways, 4 separate ways to eat rice. There's more than that, but mix it with a can of peas. Put it in with some, I don't eat fish, but put it in with some canned tuna. It's going to go much, when you're hungry, this is going to fill your belly. It's going to keep it from growling, and it might not be the best food, but at least you got something, you know. So don't make excuses, you know. Get out there while you can. And, you know, there's, like I said, I've been talking about precious metals. You can't eat this. You're laying next to a big gold bar because you're so wealthy and you ain't got any meals. You got to trade that gold bar for one of these meals, aren't you, when you're starving? Hey, let me see that big gold bar. I'll tell you what, I'll trade you these 2 for that gold bar. Okay. So don't get caught. Don't get your gold bar taken away from you because you can't, you know. Maybe you got a silver bar. Silver bars. Silver bars. So, yeah. And don't be prideful. If there's food banks and they're giving away stuff because the whole, you know, the scarcity of people getting their cards cut is over. Nobody's thinking about that right now. The food is poured back into the food banks. Food banks got very low when they said they were going to cut off. And remember, you can buy these with a food card. You could buy these with a food card. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you there, JP. Thanks for coming in. So still doing the same thing. Still doing the same thing. But definitely a good way to get your quality up. And this is already prepared. You're not going to be wanting, if you're kind of in a press for time and things are broken down a little more, it's not the end of the world. This has already been prepared for you. Like I brought up earlier about seeds. You know, seeds are good to have. You know, extra seeds, non-genetically modified, open pollinated seeds. But I don't think you're going to be growing food in rows. You know what a food forest is? If you know how to grow at a food forest, you might have people walk right past your food forest, but you're growing red tomatoes and corn in rows, and people are just going to come eat it up. That's what they see. Oh my God, there's food, honey, let's go get it. So you're probably not going to be very successful at growing food. I don't think so. It takes a long time to grow food too. You know, some things grow quicker and some, you know, but things take time. And if somebody sees that, they're going to come take it from you, especially if they're hungry. They're not going to ask any questions. Hungry people don't ask questions. They don't. They just take what they want. They don't think with their head, so they think with their gut. And it's like getting up in the old days. If you were a caveman, you get out of bed. What's cave woman? What's the first thing you think? Oh man, I got to get some food in my belly, right? I got to find some shelter before the end of the night, so I don't freeze my parts off. You know? So. And then if you can, go in and get a freeze dryer yourself, okay? Get a freeze dryer yourself. This is a great way to put something away for that day where things are, I mean, look at the state of the union right now, guys. This country is absolutely on fire right now. It's on fire. I don't care what anybody says. This country is on fire. So is every other country. The weather is not anywhere stable. Where is is your weather the same as it was last year or 5 years ago? No, it's not. There's nowhere that the weather is stable anymore. So that's something you should prepare for. Again, preparedness is a lifestyle. It's not going out and buying all the toilet paper from the store so nobody's got any teepee for their bunghole. You know, it's not buying up all, that's hoarding, and that's not the way preparedness works. It's a methodical process, and it's a lifestyle. You just do it on a regular basis. Like I said, you go buy, honey, throw another thing of that toilet paper in there, one of those 36 rolls. As a matter of fact, just get a couple more. Remember during the COVID when you oh, shouldn't have said that, but that's okay. Remember during the VidCo where if you walked out with a couple extra things, that's, hey, what are you doing? You know, people would freak out on you. Nobody's going to do that to you right now. You don't go to the store and buy food when they're closed, right? The old Walmart, right, or whatever, the Piggly Wiggly or whatever store you decide to shop at, right, the Kroger or whatever. You going to go there when they're closed to shop? No, don't go there when they're closed. Go when they're open. Go tomorrow and get some things for yourself before, you know, it's unavailable. I was talking about getting copper rounds. I bought copper buffaloes 4 days ago online. They were $1.99 with the bank wire, $2.07. Now they're 4 something. They haven't even shipped them out, and they're already doubled in price. So I wish I had some more money on my card right now. I would buy some more, but I tried to get Kevin to buy some, and I told him I'd reimburse him, but he just didn't. I don't think he has the money on his card right now. So I asked him. I tried. So Lord knows I've tried, but I told him I'd reimburse him or whatever. We could figure it out, but he just didn't. He didn't go for it. So I'd like to invest, I don't know, maybe $1,000 right now in precious metals. Well, not in copper. If I had $200, I would put it on, like in my Cash App, I'd order right away immediately, because I know that that company, I bet you it's under 1 day right now, because it was 1 day and 2 hours. And that's been how many hours been on here for 2 hours? That was when I was there. So it's probably less. This is the last day that you can be able to get any precious metals anywhere online from a company that I bought from for years. So I've never bought copper before for them. And so, yeah, that, some of us can't afford to be buying like that. I'm retired, not wealthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm retired. I'm not wealthy. I'm retired. So I don't waste money. Money's not wasted. I don't have money to just throw away. When I go to the gas station, if there's cans sitting on top of the trash can, I pick them out and throw them in the car. I'm like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 50 cents off my gas today. Thank you, Father. I don't go through and dig through the can things, because I know there's people who come and do that, and they need those. But I'll take the ones off the top, and because I don't have pride like that. So that's why earlier like I said, I ordered a little bit more, because I had 20 Fuzzy Booger. Always helps, donates $1 at a time, man, every day or every third day or something. The channel's not monetized anymore, so there was like that, not all from that person, but they know who they are, and but they donate $1 on Cash App, and so there was like $23 sitting in there. So I took my PayPal, because I've had that sitting in there, and that PayPal actually was from a hip camper that was here months ago. And it just sat in there, and because I didn't have, I actually haven't received a Cash App or a PayPal from this ministry in several months. It's been since anybody's supported this channel. So it's okay. I don't need your money. Or I don't, I could use it, but I don't need it. I'm all right. I'm not going without, but I used to, on a regular basis. I used to get 20 here and 5 there, and somebody actually took and donated the largest donation, and I actually still have it right here. I invested in silver dimes. There they are, the same ones. I invested in silver dimes. When I invested in these dimes, they were $2 a dime. $2 a dime. And now these same dimes are $5.70 a dime for a silver dime. So this is what I invested in. I never had that big of a Cash App. Somebody gave a Cash App like $500. So there it is. That's what I took it, and I'm glad that I did, because that's more than doubled in value. So that's the largest donation we've ever seen, and that was probably, I think it's probably been more than a year ago that person gave that donation to this ministry. So you were here. I think Sabrina was here, or at least you mentioned. It's been about a year since that person donated. But again, no obligation. I'm just saying, if I had a couple $100 right now, I'd throw it at the copper, because it's only on sale for one last day. Tomorrow's their last day. And I know for sure that I don't think they're going to have that sale anymore, because there's nowhere to buy it online. When I bought the copper rounds the other day, because I had a little bit of money, and they're like, it's just like $200 or more, you get free shipping. So you cost average. I paid basically $1.99. I may have paid $2.07, or now they're $3.99 for the same exact ones, brothers, sisters. The same exact ones. They haven't even shipped my order out yet. My money has already been doubled. So I am about 98% certain on Monday, when I can go to the bank, that sale will be off. and everything on that website will be at least $5. I'm almost thinking there'll be a spike even before the end of this tomorrow, or on Monday, everything will be $4, $3.99. So I'll miss the sale. I wish, but I wish it was Saturday, because I got a couple $100 and I'd like to throw it into copper right now. So are you going to buy some there? I haven't given it out, Ryan. I haven't given out the website to anybody, because I only want to give it to people who are truly interested in buying it. You know, I'll give it to you if you want. I bought from them for years. They're a reputable dealer. They're what I bought my gold from. So I know I have no problems with this company whatsoever. So if you're interested in precious metals, if you look online, look at APMEX, JM, SD, Monument Metals, Money Metals, there is no copper available. Somebody came and bought out everything. They bought the whole market. I'll give it in here. I'm not afraid to give it up. I'm just saying that, I've been on here for 2 hours and nobody said they would invest. If you can invest $200 or more, Ryan, it's $199 or more is free shipping, and you got to cost average that into your cost. They'll give you free shipping if you can buy $200 or more. The company is out of Colorado, and it is called Golden State Mint. Okay, they're the only person right now online that's selling any kind of copper. Look it up, guys. I've talked about this. I got way ahead of this one. I knocked this one out of the park, man. There's another one. I'm having my Noah moment. So, like I said, I wish it was Monday. Let's go. But right now, Ryan, do not waste time. There's 2 ones that are available. One had like a Standing Liberty. The other one I really like a lot, because you know me, I'm a buffalo soldier, right? Buffalo farmer. So I got a herd of copper buffaloes. So $200 or more, you'll get free shipping. And right now, if you go on there, you'll see they've got one that's got a bull on one side like a bull market, and a bear on the other. That is a hot coin. I like that coin a lot. I do. Because it's bull market and bear market. It's a great design. That's the one I'd order. If I had $200 in my Cash App right now, I would order immediately, because there's only 24 more hours. There we go. Do me a favor. I talked about that, okay? I talked about that, Ryan. I talked about taking that and smelting that down. I want you to go buy a smelter, okay? And get a stamp, Ryan. Get a stamp. Maybe it'll say ice baby or something. It's just a small stamp. Break that down. Copper melts at a really, you don't have to get it high heat as a lot of your, it's not aluminum, but it definitely something you can. They got microwave things. I don't have a microwave. I might get a microwave to melt down copper with, though. I'm serious. And they have these small crucibles. Okay. Now you need a larger crucible because you have a larger amount. Sounds like you've got 50-gallon drums of copper. Get that stuff melted down, purify it, get all that slag off it, get it to that high heat, and start making small ingots with it. Seriously, quarter, half ounce, and stamp it with your stamp. Stamp it with your stamp. Get your logo. This is like an ingot that Scottsdale Mick. There's their stamp. See, they push that stamp into the. So get your stamp. You can order a stamp. Find your own company, and they'll make a stamp for you. I'm telling you, Ryan, you won't regret it, man. You will not regret it. You'll get it down. This is an ounce. Get it down to this size. Maybe a half, something you can put your design on, and start making these. Get all that bare bright copper down to, and then get it to that. You'll have to look. There's a lot of people kind of in this market right now. Not everybody's doing what I'm saying. But don't do coins, do ingots. These are called ingots, like, what I'm saying? See, that's not a perfect, that's what you'd call an ingot. Okay. Get them down to about this size. 1 ounce would be good for now. If you could do it smaller, that'd be great. Maybe you can get a little smaller stamp. Ryan, you won't regret it. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Having those already stamped, put in their little molds with a stamp in it. I don't know how many you can do in a day, and get your stamp. I told Kevin I wanted to do that, and then I went online and it was all gone. I'm like, son of a bitch. I didn't mean to curse her, but I did. I'm like, Kevin, dude, what the? I told you I should have bought that last week. God, because I was in here talking to you guys about it. I was. My Arizona tea that I drank. I was telling you guys about it, about supply and demand, that you could get a hold of this. There's going to be people who need to take that bare copper, or that, and smelt it down and turn it into coin site, tradable, dividable, smaller the better. Break it down into fractional. Fractional is what I'm saying. So remember, I used to have one of these in gold, but oh well, it wasn't from this company. It was from the Perth Mint. I wish I could have saved that, but this is from Scottsdale Mint. But this is what I'm talking, making something about this size, Ryan. Something about that size. And I don't care if you got bags of them, because basically you're doing this. You're making fractional. This is obviously the way to do it with, these are silver dimes. Remember, these dimes were $2 when I kept telling you guys to buy these dimes, and the dime now is almost $6. That $5 quarter, remember I said $5 quarters? I was talking to Kevin about $2 tacos, right? These were $2 tacos. They're $5.75, $5.90 a dime right now. $5.50, $5.70, $5.90, depending on whatever they're charging you times face. 10 dimes is $5.90. Now, 1 dime is $5.90. Used to be 2 dimes, or now they're $5.50 to $5.90 a piece for these same dimes. This is the money I said that I got a donation. Somebody, they know who they are, and they made a donation to this channel. So they were in here the other day. I seen them in there the other day. I haven't seen them in a while, but they were in here the other day. But that's what I'm talking about, making it down to fractional pieces where you can actually trade those. And later on, when people can't make change because silver is way too expensive, I paid $88. I could have bought that same piece for $44 when the price of silver was $37. I said, I'm not paying that high of a premium, Kevin. I just can't. I said, I really like that because I like it's a silver bullet. They only had one left there the other day. And I went there and they were out of constitutional silver, so they didn't have any. So I wanted to buy some, and I said, well, I look online and the price is $91 for just just an ounce of silver right now. For 1 ounce. 1 ounce of silver. $91. Look online. So that's what I do. Right now, if you have $200 or more, go online, go to Golden State Mint and buy up the rest of these guys. Tell me if you can go in there, because I can't break from this live stream. I better not stay in here all night, guys. I'll stay in here till about 10 o'clock. I would go in immediately, and I'd like to invest about $1,000. I don't have that much, but I'd really like to invest about another, I don't know, $400 or $500 if I, because I think that's what I'm down to. I'm getting pretty low on funds, but that's all right. I had land payments and everything. It's been a hard month for me. So I would put it into copper right now. Like I said, I already invested and took and bought the same buffalo round, the copper buffalo rounds. I bought them at the $1.99 price, and now they're $3.99. It's actually $2.07, but it's still the same. You know what I'm saying? They've more than doubled their values, and I ordered those 4 days ago. 4 days ago, I ordered those buffalo rounds, and now they're already twice as much. I showed Kevin, I said, hey, look at this. This buffalo round, if I get these and I want to sell them, I'm going to sell them online for $4 at the minimum. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, they're, and I showed him online. Here, anybody selling copper right now? Look up a copper on the marketplace. Nobody's selling a copper round for any less than $4 a round. No less than $4 a round. No less than $4 for a copper round. So, guaranteed. Good stuff. All right. Google isn't God. Isn't he amazing? Is it still available? Just seen the bull. Cool. Yeah, it's still available, guys. Get on there right now. I'm telling you, the sale ends today, and I'm not trying to push you. Don't get some food, get some rice and beans, but you have a little bit extra to invest. Silver's expensive. It's $91 for a piece of silver. How many copper rounds could you buy right now for that? You know, almost 50 copper rounds you can buy for one of these. I think this is a good time. I know it's expensive because copper is, you know, $6 a pound. It's already weighted. It's got a stamp on it. It says the purity on it. It's already put into a form that would be easy. You'll make up. I already made 100% on what I purchased the other day. I'm kind of bummed it's, you know, that's not Sunday. I wish it was. They wish they were doing that sale. They obviously are doing it this one last day. They're not doing it. I'm sure they know that everybody's going to be trying to run to the bank on Monday. So, and they're not going to be available. Everything the other day, just 4 days ago, was $1.99. Nothing was above that. $2.07 if you paid with a credit card. Now they only have two. One is a bear and one's a bull at Golden State Mint. Get out there and like I said, you can get 50 pieces right now for that same, you know, be careful, you know, Mark, because you can't eat precious metals, but if you already invested and you already have a good supply of food and you have some water filtration, you know, Sawyer Mini or Berkey is what I used it for my water, you know, filtration. But this is actually a portable filter, you know, you take with you. It's so huge, you know, that's how big it is. This filter is 100,000 gallons of water. 100,000. And you ladies got a pouch. You can hide this from the guys. I don't mean to say that if you ladies are in here, but you see what I'm saying? So, and it comes a little straw, like a life straw, so you can hook it up to the end of it or whatever. I think it goes, you know. So there's ways to, you know, this one comes with a bag. You can use the bag system. You screw the bag on the one side and then you tip it up like this, and then it, you know, it gravity feeds itself through the, but I believe you could use this like a straw, like a life straw as well, if need be. So good company, Sawyer Mini. So the water comes through here, you know, it's going to come through here. So this would actually be turned over like this, and you would put that down into the water, and you would drink it just like that. You know, put it in a cup, drink the water out of the cup. 100,000 gallons. You'll never buy another water filter ever again. I give some of the best preparedness on YouTube. I know I do. How many paper plates you got? How many paper plates you got? Put it in the chat how many paper plates you have. If you don't have paper plates, you are... Would you rather have a paper plate so you can wash your butt or your lady parts? Your lady needs water every day. You're going to use her water? Why not make a paper plate so she can keep you too? You get stinky too there, dude, with your hairy Sam Squatch butt or whatever you got there. But this comes with a pump too. I've never used this one here, but I think this is to pull water out of a small area. But this comes with this. I've never used this portion of it, but this is the kit that they give you, though. It talks about how to, you're probably going to take it out of this bag, but okay, try to get more paper plates, Mark, seriously. I mean, because I reuse my paper plates. You can't have enough paper plates. You really can't, especially I'm off grid. I use paper plates out here. I don't wash dishes unless they're pots or, you know, pans or, you know, different things like that, but I don't use an actual plate, you know, so that is extremely valuable. Like I said, when your lady's got extra water to wash her lady parts, she's going to feel like, hey, thank you, honey. So don't waste not, want not. I think paper plates are a little frivolous. No, they're not. They're really not. If you actually what it takes to wash dishes and to buy paper plates, it's really, and especially like me, if you reuse them, you know, if you're not using something that's wet, you know, like a pasta or something, you're going to do a hamburger that's on maybe on a bun, it's not going to get dirty. You can reuse that plate multiple times, and then I light my fires with it. Come on, baby, light my fire. So, but anyways, I'm hoping Ryan goes and gets some precious metals if he's invested again, would anybody do me a favor? If you could, will you go over to Golden State Mint right now and click on the copper and click on the 1 ounce copper rounds? Does it still say 1 day, or has it got a countdown timer like under 24 hours? Because I'm going to try to find somebody who can let me use their credit card and give them a couple $100 if I can. I'll try to find somebody tomorrow if they can and pay them whatever. I don't think there's a fee for using, but I'd like to at least throw another couple $100 at the copper rounds. I don't know how many you can get for that, but well, $2.07 divided by, let's say if it's, $210, because you got to have just maybe a little bit over. So about 100 rounds, I'd like to have 100 more rounds of that other bull or bear. Those are really nice rounds. Really nice rounds. It's the one that's in the JPEG. So I just think it's good timing. I know it's good timing because I just bought, like I said, I bought some of the Buffalo rounds, the copper rounds, at the $1.99 price, and now it's $3.99. I've already doubled my money, and I have a sneaking suspicion whatever I buy, whatever I bought, if I can buy it tomorrow, that they'll be worth double that on Monday. Everything else already is. The whole website is already. Everything that was $1.99 is now $3.99. Nice. Can you tell me how much time they have on them though? Because there was a timer. When I last was there, I was in town, and that's why I transferred the rest that I had, and try to figure out how to get some. But like I said, I don't know what happened when I transferred the money from PayPal. I got that on a hip camp out here. People come out here and pay me to park out here. They stayed here a couple of days. They paid $35 a day. They were here 2 days. They take their PayPals like $59 or whatever, and then I transfer the rest. I bought what I could. So I'm just hoping again, because that I didn't have the order, that they'll just ship it with my other order, and I won't have to pay the, so we'll see. Yeah, that's what I'm going to try tomorrow to get. I think it's the last time you're going to be able to invest in copper for under $2 a round. There's just nobody else available. Look on APMEX, look on JM, look on SD, look at Money Metals Exchange, look at Monument Metals. Nobody has any metal for sale. And I'm almost certain when they come up online, they'd probably be in $5 per ounce is what it's going to be. They're the only ones that have it on sale anywhere on the internet right now. There's one other company called DM, and I don't know about that company. I've never heard of it. They came online when, silver shot up, and I looked at their reviews. It does look like they ship out their metal, but it looks like it takes a long time to get your metal. Kind of like ordering from Temu or whatever. I've never done any of that, like slow boat to China kind of stuff. So I'm just wondering if it's going to do a countdown timer, like 24 hours, 23 hours, 22 hours, because like I said, I might be able to find somebody tomorrow that has a credit card. I don't know too many people, guys. I really don't. But I'm going to give it an attempt. I just think this is going to be our last opportunity to buy precious. Well, it's not a precious metal, but I think it's going to end up. It's a strategic metal. Now, copper is a strategic metal, brothers and sisters. They put it on the strategic metal list. So it is definitely something that, again, it says 20. Here we go. The countdown timer. Thank you. Oh, man. AJ, appreciate it, AJ. See, we're under 24 hours, guys. Just listen. Everything on that website that was 1 ounce the other day, 4 days ago, was the same price. There's the two. There's like the Standing Liberty and that Bull Bear, which is a beautiful coin. It's a really nice coin. It is a nice coin for the money. Think about getting all that copper out of the ground, smelting it, putting it in a planchard, stamping it, and shipping it to me for under $2, $2 a coin. That's a deal. That's a steal. Because everything online right now, look at every other design is now $3.99. It's already doubled. The order that they're going to ship me out, I've already made twice the money. So I'd like to throw more money at it. I just don't have it right now. So I just had a total other expenses out here. Remember? There has been. I've just been, Father's kind of taxed me. So, it is what it is. Land payments didn't get paid, and insurance I had to pay. And it's fine. I love Brother Kevin, but I asked him to help me out and go take a picture of because I pay for mile auto per mile. and I didn't drive the car at all. So my insurance would have been like $39. You know, they charged me 40 miles a day because he didn't take the picture for me. You know, he didn't pay the land payment, so I had to pay a late cost. You know, my phone was shut off, so there was a fee. You know, everything ended up costing me a bunch of more. Get thrown in jail got me. I put money on my books, and to pull the money off my books, they put on some card, and there was fees. And every time I pulled it out, I get hit so hard. This month just beat me up as far as finances. So. Every one of those could have been another copper round to me. So it's okay. Like I said, I think I got maybe a couple $100. We'll see. Yeah, I think I probably paid about, it looks like to me that I've almost shelled out an extra $1,000 this last month between fees and extra cost. And it just, you know, it's $40 a day times 30 or 40 times, that's not $40 a day. It's 40 miles a day. So I don't think I drove 40 miles all month, you know what I'm saying? And I had to pay 40 miles a day. So that hit me hard. You know, I had to pay the max. They maxed me out because I didn't take my picture of my speedometer. So it just was costly. I would have loved to thrown every bit of that into copper right now. So I got my copper pennies though, right? So. Got some nickels too, right? You got some nickels? These are nickels. Nickels. Oh, careful. I'm going to break that. I did that the other day and broke the side of that right off the... So. But, okay, you got 22 hours left, guys. This is the last place I know anywhere on the interweb to buy copper right now. If anybody knows anywhere else to buy copper right now, please put it in the chat. I'm going to have to put some wood in the wood stove. Let me put up my mountain house for this. So. Where else can you buy copper online right now? Where else can you even buy it? I don't care the price of it. Where can you buy it? Where is there any copper available? Where? I'm telling you, the only place online to buy copper right now. Because I've done my research. Hey, you pull up different stuff on the internet, then you know, that's the way it works. We all get a different, you know, spread now. We don't all get the same search results. So maybe there was something else. But I know from APMEX, JM Bullion. JM Bullion has rounds right now? AJ, JM Bullion has rounds right now? JM Bullion has copper? I looked there yesterday or the day before. They didn't have anything available. Outstanding. Well, hey, at least now go online and look. Now that's saving you $207 as compared to $5.99. That's saving you almost $3 a round. Oh wait, yeah, that's outstanding. They had nothing available. But look at the price, guys. So that means everything's going to jump up to $5. Exactly what I just said. Bam, it's already happened with JM. If anybody gets anything in, I said it's going to be $5. Boom, shakalaka. Nailed it. Nailed it. So, whatever. I'm not a prophet. I just see the cycles. So that's awesome that there's something out there other than, but they're probably the only one online that has anything available right now. So if you have any ability, brothers, sisters, and you can spend $200, go over, because it's $200. It's free shipping to Golden State Mint and purchase. There's 2 rounds that are available. Everything on that website that was 1 ounce round the other day was $1.99. So yeah, I looked there, you know, because JM, I actually get a veteran discount for JM. So that's always the very first place that I check. JM Bullion gives me a veteran discount. So I get the best discount from JM Bullion. I'm part of their whatever, where they give me a veteran. I had to send them in all my paperwork and, you know, show them, prove that I was a veteran. But they give me a better price. But it's $4.99, guys, and I am now giving you the ability to get a round that nobody's going to care what's on that round. And actually, that Bull Bear is a beautiful round. It's a beautiful round. That's why I'd like to get some more of those. I really like them. I kind of wish I would have ordered some more of those the first time, but I didn't want to split my order up. I just ordered some buffaloes. So outstanding. That's good that, hey, somebody's going to get some. And I guarantee the deal will not last long. If that's the only, I don't know anybody else that knows where to get copper online right now. I don't know any other. Do you know how many people do not know who Golden State Mint is? Golden State Mint is out of Colorado, brothers and sisters. Write that number down. They have good prices on their gold, and they have some really nice silver rounds as well. They do really nice silver. So it's just not something that most people even know. Actually, I found them, years ago looking for gold, just trying to find the best price on gold. And they beat out everybody on gold because that gold comes out of Colorado. So that's where I bought in 12 pieces of gold from them over time. It took me a long time, but I bought, over time. And that's how I was introduced to that company. So right now you got 21 hours left to get in there. And I think of a couple of us. It's Golden State Mint, JP, Golden State Mint. And they're a good company. They've got a little bit of a delay right now, and that's to be expected because there's a high demand, and it says it in their header. It says there's a high demand. There's a little bit of delay, but I don't think they'll delay very long. I mean, they are a little small mint, but I've never had any issues with that company ever. And I've bought, like I said, gold from them. It's not that expensive. It's really pretty reasonably priced. I know compared to the per pound price or whatever, but don't look at that. It's already been put in a form. And for example, it's already been put in a form, JP. I bought, buffalo rounds, and they were $1.99. Now they're $3.99 on that same website, and they haven't even shipped them out yet. So I already made double my money and I haven't even received them yet. So I know that's why I'd like to buy whatever I could. Like I said, if I had $1,000 right now, I'd throw it into copper. But I just don't have that ability right now. Like I said, I have a couple $100, but I can't put it on my credit card, or debit card. I don't have a credit card until Monday, and the sale's only 22 more hours. So I'm not going to get in on it. That's what I'm saying. Maybe tomorrow. Actually, I don't know anybody I can talk to. Kevin said he'd check, but I don't think he does because he's bought some land for me and stuff. He's kind of he's a little bit tapped right now. So because I asked him, to go in on with me, and he said he had to check his card. So 22 hours from now, what time is it right now? 9. So, ooh, yeah, better get on it tomorrow. So, actually, I don't know anybody other than Kevin. Now that I think about it, I just don't know anybody else that has a credit card. I know one lady in town, but she doesn't have money like that. She just doesn't ever have. She's kind of a horse trader, and she's always a little bit strapped. So that's okay. I don't need it. It would just be nice to take and know that when I put it in something that it's going to double. I think actually all those rounds are going to go up to 5 right now, $4.99 and not $3.99. I think that Golden State Mint is not going to be able to keep their prices come Monday. I can already tell they already doubled their prices in the last 2 days. They're only keeping, those are probably the last 2 they have any quantity of. So, but I don't know. I'll check with Kevin tomorrow. I don't think he's going to have it. I think he's just overextended himself a little bit. Not like that. Like he's got to keep a little bit of money in his bank. I'm not trying to get him to spend all his money. So I'd reimburse him, but I can't do that on Monday. I can't reimburse. Well, I could reimburse him Monday, but I can't buy those rounds Monday because they're not going to have that sale anymore. So what a good opportunity it is for people right now. If anybody has a little bit of extra and they're already have very heavily invested in food and water filtration and a way to protect it, to be able to get into something that I don't think is going to be very available, So bad timing. I really wish they would run their sale for one more day because I think I might have a little bit more money than that, but I'd be putting myself out there too because I still have car insurance to pay this month. I paid my land payment. I should have waited to pay my land payment because it isn't due until the 14th, but I had an issue last month because Kevin didn't get it paid, so I wanted it paid early. You know, I gave him the money. He just couldn't get it paid. So it just cost me late fees. And like I said, my insurance ended up costing me, I had less than 40 miles and I paid per mile, and I got charged $40, 40 miles per day times 30 days. So they maxed me out on car insurance. I'd have never paid that much for insurance or that, but that's okay. It is what it is. So life is definitely timing for sure, isn't it? So if you look at that, there you go. A lot of people use copper. It is, remember, antimicrobial, antibacterial. It's, remember, the U.S. Made copper a strategic metal. So I don't even think we've seen the price of copper, what it's going to go up to. I think those same rounds, maybe in a month from now, will be $10 a round. When they come back up online and everybody has them available again, they're going to be about $10 a round. So I sure like to buy some of them for $2 right now. You know what I'm saying? 207 is the price of the round. So I don't know how much, like I said, I think I might have $300. I don't know if I could spend the other $100. I know I have $200 because I already paid my land payment. My phone bill's $50, but that won't be due until like the 20th or something like that. I think it comes due. So that gives me 10 more days to come up with. And it's only $50 because I don't have some big super plan or anything. So, but I'd like to throw another $1,000 at it though, you know, because I know I'd already doubled my money. If I would have spent $1,000, I would have twice as much copper right now, or twice as much money, and they're highly desirable right now. They're getting, people are, I already told, everybody's not going to be able to afford silver. Silver is $91 for this round online. $91. I could buy 50 buffaloes for the price of one. I'd rather have 50 copper rounds right now. I like silver, but copper's kind of growing on me here a little bit now that the U.S. made a strategic metal. That means that they're going to want it, and in the event of national security, they might not sell any more of it. And that's exactly who might have bought all that copper online, is the United States government. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, that they're the ones who bought it up. So, again, I think you're looking at, AJ came in here and said it's $4.99 for a 1 ounce copper round from J.M. Bullion, and they're the only company right now. Yeah, you know, like I said, we can't go into this AI future and tech, and copper is used in a lot of circuitry as well as electronics. And remember, they used to make copper doorknobs, like PJ said, drinking out of a copper, glass. It's an antimicrobial, antibacterial. You know, there's a reason why they had it on doorknobs, because bacteria cannot grow on copper. So that's pretty awesome. So I think it's going to end up being a very sought after metal that I don't think we'll ever see $100 copper an ounce, but I think we could see $20 to $30 an ounce for copper. I think so. I really do. And I like to buy it at $2. Yeah, I sold 2 properties as well. So this is something you're going to have to hold on to. I think you can hold on into it, and Monday you might already have made $3 per round too, because AJ said they're $4.99 right now at J.M. Bullion. $4.99. So that's already $3 more a round than they're asking for what I can tell you can buy right now for $1.99. It's $207 if you pay with your credit card, but we'll call it, $407 if you pay for it, for any of the other rounds. They're going to be $407. So same basic, you already gained $2 per round. You just got to buy them now. Sometimes it takes money to make money. So what an interesting time, where the government on November 11th of 2025 made copper a strategic metal. That blew me away. Silver, I knew that was going to come up on the list as a strategic metal. I didn't think they would make copper a strategic metal. I never saw that one coming. Maybe I thought about it, but I didn't really. I just didn't think of anything in the next, I thought we'd have to be in full blown, like a hot war here in America before they might you know, well, it's getting pretty close, isn't it? They're just running people over now. Hell with the ones. Wait, hold on. They're shooting people. So don't run anybody over, brothers and sisters. They'll shoot you. You know. So good stuff. Good stuff. I'm glad that hopefully Ryan earlier was able to invest and go put a couple $100 at. If nothing else, I hope that this live stream, I'm going to end it at the 3-hour mark. Somebody got to invest. If not me, somebody got to go invest, and they'll be able to. This ain't some get rich quick. It's copper, guys. I'm not like telling you to buy a chunk of gold. You know, it's copper. Copper's $6 a pound. Why are you buying ounces for $2? It's already stamped. It's already got the weight on it. It's something that somebody will be able to tell. You know, how do you tell how much a copper wiring is? A bunch of, you know, is that, I don't think copper wiring is going to be, you know, something that's coined and then already in a form where it can be fractionalized. It's kind of like these, you know, dimes right here. They're already in this form. Let's see if we got any. I think we got a couple. We got a couple mercury dimes. Let me see if there's any mercury dimes in here. Did I get any mercury dimes? I think there was 1 or 2 mercury dimes. Maybe there wasn't. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe it's just a dark Roosevelt. Oh, and I found this quarter, guys. I went to the, and I got some quarters from the laundromat because the people wouldn't give me any quarters at the drive-through. I had to get a coffee, and I don't normally do it, but it was the only thing at the time. I went to McDonald's to see if I can, you know, if they give me some change. I haven't been to McDonald's like 10 years, but I know they have a cheap coffee, and look what I got. That quarter right there is worth $14. That's a $14 quarter, guys. I got 20, you know, I got 20 and put 20 in change, and I got a $14 quarter. So I was pretty stoked about that. No, I don't think I got any Roosevelts, or I don't think I got any. No, I don't see any. Maybe I thought I did. It wasn't. It was just a real dark, really dark Roosevelt dime. I thought maybe I had a mercury dime. It was this one that I saw. It's kind of a dark. I thought that was a mercury dime, but it's not. It's just a Roosevelt. That's kind of dark. That's kind of that's the color that the mercury dimes. Here's the other one that I saw. I thought that was maybe a mercury dime. So, but isn't that cool? I ended up getting the and that lady from the McDonald's, she's like, no, we can't give you change. But she said there's a laundromat if you go over there. And they got change. I was like, ooh, good idea. They got a change machine. So I think it would take 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. I was like, oh, I'll put a $20 bill in there. I was stoked. So they're still out there in circulation. No, I can't show you any mercury dimes. Darn it. Let's try to show you a mercury dime. Oh, there's one. Hey, I found one. There is a mercury dime. Look. There's a mercury dime. See how dark that is? That's a mercury dime. That's a mercury dime. I knew there was one in there. I'm not that crazy. I'm kind of crazy. I'm pretty. All right, I'm nuts. The man's nuts. Grab him. So I knew I saw one in there. Like I swore I saw one mercury dime. Yep, no, the rest of these are all Roosevelts, Rosie dimes. These are called Rosies, and these are called mercury dimes. So what a score that was, though. A $14 quarter. I work for myself. I'm a farmer. You know, I raise animals. Hogs, dogs, sheep, goats. I've had a commercial license for many years. I work for myself independently. Own, you know, a couple businesses. And I'm a horse trader. I work off my land, you know. I work my land. I'm a builder. I build many things. I sell. I build cabins, things like that. So this is a Mercury dime, and this is a Roosevelt dime. These are called Rosie dimes, and that's called a Mercury dime. So Roosevelt, Mercury dime. It's got that Mercury on there. And the backs, they're a little similar, but not exactly. The back, you can tell it's a little bit different. A little different. God, my camera sucks. Yeah, dirty hand work, you know, dirty fingernails sometimes. Honest work, you know. So I'm a horse trader. I buy and fix and sell. I'll buy a car and fix it and work on it and make it nice, you know. And there's very seldom I ever have a car that I have bought that I haven't sold that's nicer than when I bought it. So, but a dime right now is $5 and at the minimum 50 cents, minimum $5.50. And I was telling you guys to buy these dimes, you know, just a couple months ago, and they were $2 a dime. Things have caught up really fast in this country. Things are changing rapidly in America, guys. So things like this will be it. Like I said, I appreciate this is, you know, many months ago, somebody gave the largest Cash App donation that I've ever received here. I was blown away. I was like, wow, that is, you know, that's a lot of money to just throw out to this ministry. But some people support it. Like I said, I have somebody come in here and almost every time they come in here, they give $1. I don't like taking little mints because I don't want to take from anybody. You know, if you can't give, you know, a large amount, please spend it on you. You know, I don't want to put anybody out. I don't want to be on the other end of that deal when Father comes and judges me and says, hey, you had, you know, and somebody gave to you and put themselves out. Don't do that. Don't do that. Give to somebody in your area, you know, give somebody close in your circle or something like that. But it is a ministry. People tithe millions of dollars every single Saturday and Sunday to a bunch of fake Christians and Catholics and Protestants and Presbyterians. I give you the gospel here. You're not going to find the gospel anywhere else except for Brother Jim Brown at Grace and Truth Ministries. You're just not. Tell me where you find the gospel at. The true gospel, the Solipsis gospel that I share with you here. So, but I am thankful for this ministry because it gives me so much purpose and value in life. Without this ministry, it would be I still go share the word no matter where I go, no matter what I do. It's just that's what we have to. But this gives me the ability to come in here and share all these other things, you know, with you guys. So I am very thankful and appreciate, Father, for this bounty of my brothers and sisters that are in the narrow way that love to come in here and share the gospel with others. So this is one of the most amazing channels on YouTube. It truly is. This body is a good group of sheep, his flock. Remember, it's a teeny tiny flock. So it's not a bunch of us here. Many are called, but few are chosen. There's 23,000 or whatever, but you know that we don't see all those people at one time. There was a good batch of you guys, regular people that come in here and frequent this ministry, though, and I'm always my time is never wasted here. I have spent an ungodly amount of time here with you guys, but it's always worth it to me. I never got off here and go, man, I should have gone online. I shouldn't have spent so much time in there. I was like, oh, that was well worth my time, Father. Thank you so much for allowing me to be with my brothers and sisters in the narrow way. So I appreciate it, like I said, and that's just one of the things I kept this out because I want to show you guys that somebody gave a donation. This is many months ago. Like I said, I don't think I've received a Cash App or a PayPal in a few months, at least 2-3 months, maybe, or more. But oh well, I don't do this for money. I just, you know, it's just kind of weird that people give so much to these fake pastors that aren't even giving you the gospel, and I'm giving you the meat. This is HD fat, baby. Not high desert, right? Oh yeah, not high definition, as you can see. It's high desert, faith and truth. So faith is we are saved by faith, and aletheia is the word truth. So you can't handle the truth. Oh, I love you, brothers and sisters. I do. Like I said, appreciate it. Probably shouldn't have bought that silver bullet piece the other day, but I'll tell you what, I could have got it at $44, and I should have bought it then. But I'm an El cheapo. I do. I can't just throw money away. I just can't. I don't have that luxury. I don't struggle, but I don't just throw money away. That way I can have, you know, some money to keep, you know, something rainy day, something like something's going on with my 4Runner, and I took and spent a lot of money at the Toyota dealership to have it, you know, completely fixed. And I don't know what, all of a sudden it's making some noise on the front end. I'm like, I just spent all that money at the Toyota dealership, you know. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's starting to make some kind of weird noise. I don't know what happened to it, but it's a little bit depressing. It's like, Father, you know, you can beat me some more, please? You know, I just paid a lot of money to have that front end completely fixed. I thought it would last me for years, but something is when I turn left, it's making some clicking, not like a CB. It's not a CB. I know it's not a CB. I had them look all that. The boots, or everything on it is good. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. I wish I had a better mechanic around here. And it's not something that I can't, while I'm driving, I can't tell what part, you know, is making the noise or what's going on. But maybe I'll bring it back to the Toyota dealership the next time I'm in town, and they can take a look at it. They could charge to do that too, but you know, that's why I paid that money to begin with, was to make sure it was done right. It drives good still. It still drives straight, so I don't know what's going on. But when I turn left, it click, 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 click. Like, first time we're like, no, I just paid all that money to Toyota. So I could, so Father, that's what I said. I probably should keep what I have, but it's okay. I'll figure out what, you know, like I said, I mean, heck, if prices are going to go up to $5 a round, $4 or $5 a round, and I double my money, I'll take and turn that right back over, and it'd be at least a couple $100. You know what I'm saying? To throw at it at this point, I'll make a little bit. You know, like I said, already those Buffalo rounds that I bought for $1.99 are now $3.99. So they're already, and I only ordered those 4 days ago. They're already twice as much money. That's pretty amazing. You know, that's 100% gain on that already. And I haven't even got it they haven't even shipped it out yet. I don't even have a tracking number. It's already gone up $2 per round. So I'll sell something if I have to. You know, like I said, I've got to have a vehicle. So that's why I call it the piece of shit 4Runner, because it's not, you know, probably should have taken and said the hell with that attorney that I'd spent $25,000 and bought myself for the ministry a double cab. So I don't think I'm going to ever own a double cab. I just don't. I just don't think the Father's going to have it in the works for me. But we'll see. Never say never. You know, but I'm going to need to eventually get something with a little more reliability. That vehicle it's 300,000 miles on the 4Runner. It's a 96. It's the first year. So they can go for a little bit more, but it's not going to last forever. So I need to start thinking now on what I'm going to do for a vehicle if this one, you know, has any kind of issues. So I'm a preventive maintenance kind of guy. I like to do, you know, get on it before it becomes too big of an issue. So that was so disappointing. Just out of nowhere too. I drove it into Bend. I went into Bend, and it didn't. And all of a sudden, I don't know, I turned left a little bit hard, and I was like, "What in the hell is that noise?" So I wish again I had a better mechanic out here that I can use, but I just don't have a mechanic out here that you know. I've always bought and sold cars. I've always had a mechanic, but I normally had a little bit closer, you know, connections with people in town. And I don't really know anybody out here that does that. People know of me, but I don't have any friends. I have some acquaintances, and I have people that I know, you know, like I know Heather, I know Jason, I know a couple of people, but we don't Neither of them ever come over and had dinner with me, you know. So, when you break bread with somebody, that's kind of your friend, right? When you cook a meal for them, or they cook a meal for you. I got Brother Rick up the road, but same thing. He's not that I don't really enjoy his company, but we've never sat down and had a meal together or anything like that, barbecued or anything like that. So I don't have friends and family. I'm a loner. So that's who I am. I'm just some loner out here in the desert. Remember, I've gone 6 months before without talking to somebody out here. Just kind of shut my gates and turn the world off for a while and just do me. I don't normally get on the internet for a while. When I did that, I wasn't really on the internet for a while, a long time. I kind of disappeared off the internet. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this guys up. Take me a minute to wrap it up. Hopefully somebody, like I said, we didn't see Ryan show back up. So hopefully Ryan went and invested at least a couple $100 so you can get free shipping. And if one person heard this and is able to, gain, that would be awesome, man. I hope that somebody can hear this and has enough money to throw, at least a couple $100 so they can get these rounds for $1.99. The rounds that I got were $1.99 just 4 days ago, and now they're $3.99. So they're twice as much. I just told you that I think when they come back online that they'll be $5, and AJ just came in here and exactly what I said. $4.99. Exactly what I told you. So I'm not a prophet. I just pay attention to cycles. So did I get that one? I got that one, didn't I? Knocked that one out of the park already. So AJ came in and confirmed what I told you, what I think would happen Monday. It's already happened. So again, appreciate your time. If you do want to support this ministry, come back when you have more time. You don't ever have to put any money into this ministry. Like I said, Fuzzy Booger, that's their name. You will give up their name. They're not under the, but they donate $1, so every day or every other day they'll come in here and throw $1 at it. So that's what those Cash App dollars were. That's considerably, like over a month of him coming in and donating $1 here and $1 there, and I don't spend it, so it was sitting in there. And like I said, the PayPal that I had was from back in the summertime, guys, where somebody came out here and stayed out here, and the money's just sat in there because the PayPal's there to donate for. I don't use PayPal. That somebody asked me to put that up. The same thing with the Cash App. I didn't have Cash App or PayPal ever. But I had people that wanted to make. It actually happened during the fire. Is when I had that fire out here in the garage. I lost all my tools. All my tools got burned up, and all my work tools. And somebody said, "Look, I know you need those tools. If you don't have tools out there, you got to go crazy. I want to buy you some tools." And it was actually on TikTok that they made me set up PayPal and the Cash App and said, "Well, we want to help you and donate to get some more." A saw and some of the other things again that had burned up. So I'm thankful that people have that avenue. Kind of a bummer that the channel got demonetized because sometimes people donate through the super chat and that's not available. Like we had some subscribers over from Australia. That's the only way they could donate is through the Cash App. So hopefully somebody gleaned something from here, which means they took from here and they can they can receive bounty. So thank you for your time. Again, good live stream, a few hours here. Again, if you want to support the ministry, come back when you have more time because you can't print time. There is links to Cash App and PayPal if you want to see me go in on yeah, we're just getting ready to get out of here, Waylon. We were talking about copper. I said there's a place at Golden State Mint right now, the only place online to get copper rounds. JM just got them in stock. They're $5 now, $4.99. There's probably only 21 hours left on their sale. It's the only place online right now to get copper. I don't think JM's I think somebody's gonna go buy that up real quick. I doubt that JM metal will be available tomorrow. I don't think it will. Everything disappeared overnight. Everything, bars, pounds, kilo bars, all of it, big bars, 5-pound bars. Somebody came and bought the whole market overnight. Well, right now, like I said, I just return on investment. Waylon, I ordered rounds at $1.99 4 days ago. They're $3.99 right now. So I've already doubled, and they haven't even shipped it out. I don't even have a tracking number yet. They haven't even, they says that I've received my payment, and they'll, when they, my order will be packed when they, they get it, and they'll send me a tracking number. I haven't even gotten a tracking number, and I've already got 100%, what I'm saying, on my investment. So I said that I believe, because if I could go to my bank right now, I'd put $199 in my bank. Well, it's a credit union because I have a couple $100, but that's not until Monday, and the sale's only going for another 21 hours now. But I said that I think when all these dealers come back up online and they get their copper rounds, it's $6 a pound, so that's obviously not, if you look at it, that's not, but it's something you can hold in your hand. It's an actual metal, it's weighted, it's marked, it's something that people are familiar with. So already the prices, I told Kevin, if I sold those online, I would sell them for $4. I wouldn't sell them for the $2 that I bought it for. He's like, what do you mean? I said, everybody's already selling it for $4 off, like on the marketplace or on Craigslist or some one of these, other places. People weren't selling it for less than $4. Nowhere. And now if you look online, everything from Golden State Mint, except for two coins, they've got the Bull Bear coin. That's what I would invest in. If tomorrow was Monday, I'd take that $199. I'd go straight to the credit union and I'd order those immediately because I've already made. I know they'll go up. So I said to this chat, if you go back and you look, I said, when they come online, I think everything will be $5. AJ came in here, said JM Bullion had some available, and they're $4.99. For the same thing you could buy for $1.99 through Golden State Mint right now. So it's going to be, as far as copper pounds, and that's, you're going to have to get over that. It's kind of expensive to buy it that way, but no, it's not when you start gaining 100%, before they ever, I would almost willing to venture to say that come Monday morning, because their sale goes off, that those last 2 rounds that they have will bump up to $3.99 as well. And Monday morning, I said, I think everything will be $4.99. AJ came in here, said JM Bullion, the only other distributor that has anything online, says their rounds are $4.99 a round. $5. Then you got to pay with a credit card. There's a little bit more fee. That's not with a bank wire. So I think, I'm not giving you an economic advice, but I think it'll be good, a good sound investment on something that people are not going to be able to get their hands on copper very soon. They made it a strategic metal. They did. They made it a strategic metal on November 11th of 2025. I remember, I'll never forget that, ever forget that date. On November 6th, Mr. Warp Speed contacted the Secretary of Treasury and said, stop minting the penny. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? 4 days later, they made copper a strategic metal. I'm knocking it out of the park, brothers, sisters. I'm not a prophet, I'm saying, but I'm able to see this. So if I had a couple $100 right now, and I don't, I would throw it into copper right now, because I really like those bear and bull round. Remember, a bull market means it's going up, and a bear market is going down. So that's a neat coin, really nice coin. It's the JPEG when you come in here, the bear and the bull. So anybody who want to support the ministry, help me out. There's links in the description. You don't have to. Again, that is an option, not a requirement to be a part of this ministry. You don't ever have to spend a single penny, and I've never disclosed who gave me that larger Cash App that I went and bought these pennies with, or these dimes with, who it was. And I'm never going to tell you. I don't, just because you give something to this ministry doesn't get you a brownie point or anything like that. It is what it is. I took it and put it into precious metals, and I'm glad, because I bought these dimes at $2.10 a dime, and now they're $5.50 a dime. I more than doubled on there. Whoever invested in these, whoever helped me out with that donation, you could figure out for yourself what, for how many dimes you see there, what they gave. It wasn't a substantial amount, but it was the largest donation we've ever taken here. I've never had anybody donate that. Any more than $100 is a lot of money to me. I mean, I don't come across money like that, so I don't throw it away. I wash, I use paper napkins, or napkins. I don't use napkins. I use toilet paper for my napkins. I do. I got a toilet paper roll in the kitchen that I use for napkins. So, anyways, love you, brothers, sisters. One last time, Golden State Mint has some copper rounds right now. So does JM Bullion. JM Bullion wants $4.99. Golden State Mint wants $1.99. That's $3 more a round. So if you have any extra cash right now or anything on a credit card, you can't pay with cash at that company. If you have a credit card or a debit card and you got a couple $100, it's $199 and you get free shipping. I wouldn't buy it unless you could do $199, because you have to pay for the shipping. You have to cost average that. It might be $10. Hey, that $10 across however many coins makes it that much more. So please, if you have the ability, I've already gained 100% on what I bought. Take it and make sure you got food first. Please don't buy anything precious metals. I'm not giving any economic advice. Go and invest in something that, they made silver and copper a strategic metal, brothers, sisters. Why? They're going to need it. And so I think that we're just beginning to see the price of copper, brothers, sisters. It's going to go up a lot higher. They just need it in too many things. It's used in circuitry. It's used in AI. It's used in tech. There's a lot of it out there that's used in electronics, welders. I can go on and on and on the uses of copper. It's not widely as used as silver, but it is definitely used a lot. So $199 will probably get you, what is that, like 100 and like almost 100 coins, where again, an ounce of silver right now is $91. So you could get almost 50 rounds, not quite, like 45 rounds or something of copper to one piece of silver. I'm out of this market. It's too expensive for my blood. I can't afford silver anymore. It was better when I was buying it at 14, but everybody always steals all my silver. Remember, I just had 40 pounds of silver stolen from me. So actually, I don't want to try to put up too much, because I feel like somebody will steal it from me. So everybody always does, and anybody always takes from me. He's got lots of money. Isn't that ironic? It's not like somebody who takes from me is poor. It's like, oh, well, somebody got it who needed it. It's like somebody who didn't even need it. They just did it out of spite. So hopefully, again, I didn't see Ryan come back in here. Hopefully he busted out and was able to pick up. I'm hoping we'll sell them out tonight. And you go in there and you go, hey, there's nothing left available. Good. I'd like to sell them out. I don't think this chat with 7 people in here is going to do it. But I love you, brothers, sisters. Once again, if even just one person can come in here and glean the information, and maybe you can pass it on. Maybe if you don't know anybody who has, or you don't have the money to do this, maybe you can get off here and I'll let you guys go talk to somebody. You only got 20 hours, I think, now. I really wish they would have continued that sale on to Monday, because I'd run to the bank or my credit union and throw my last couple $100 at this, because to me, I think I got another $100 that I need to pay for car insurance, and I need to pay my phone bill. So I got things online for sale. I've got a car online for sale. I've got lots of things online. So I'm not in here trying to take anything from anybody. Father will, I had some interest on that canopy, but the guy, I told him he was going to come down here and he didn't listen to him. I said, it's a little far from where you're at. Oh, no, I want it. And then he ends up, oh, well, that's a 4-hour drive. I can't make it there. I told you. So I see it coming sometimes. So maybe if you know somebody who can help themselves out and has, a little bit extra cash, people throw thousands of dollars into precious metals daily. I mean, look at the markets right now. $199 is not the end of the world, right? That's free shipping. That's almost 100 rounds. Look at JM Bullion right now, $4.99, $5. You can only get what, a quarter of amount there, for what you can buy for tonight for the next 20 hours into something that's $1.99 around. They're $3.99 for everything else on the website that was $1.99 4 days ago when I ordered. So they only have 2 coins that are left. One, I think, is the Standing Liberty that looks like the Standing Liberty quarter or something similar to that, and that Bull and Bear. It's a really nice coin, though. It's a really nice coin. I'll be excited when, like I said, I didn't get to order a bunch of them, but I took whatever I had in my Cash App, my PayPal, and I threw it into my bank account and ordered whatever I could. So, like I said, maybe they'll throw my order in with my other order, and I'll get it all at one time. But it is what it is. I came in here not to help myself, but to hope to hopefully help you guys, that somebody would hear me. And I'm thinking maybe Ryan took off and he asked, because I didn't mention Golden State Mint for 2 hours. Nobody asked until Ryan came in and said, "Who is that?" And I said, "It's Golden State Mint." And then I think AJ came in here and looked up, and then found Jam Bullion. So I'll get off here. Again, come back when you have some more time. Is the only requirement to be a part of this ministry is tithe your time when you have extra time. You can't print time. Hey, you can print more copper coins, right? You can print them until infinitum. Well, I don't think there's an infinite amount of copper out there, but I do think copper is going to be really hard to get your hands on. There's no reason why 1 month ago, it's like the pennies. A couple months ago, you could have went to their bank and asked for thousands of dollars of pennies, and they wouldn't even bark at you. They would have ordered them. Now you can't even get the bank won't even give you pennies anymore. So they're getting ready to pull a lot of this stuff out of circulation. So maybe they need it. Maybe they're going to go ahead and put the penny back into circulation. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think we're ever going to see change come out onto the, what's out there is out there. And I don't think we're going to see, they're not minting the penny. I think the nickel's going next to, like the other day, there was 2 cents change. The lady's like, well, I don't have the 2 cents. I'm like, first person to talk loses. So I didn't say anything. She's like, I don't have the 2 cents. I'm like, she's like, would you like a nickel? Okay. So they lost 3 cents. Hey, that's not my fault. They rounded up. You can't only do that so many times, brothers and sisters, before they're going to run out of nickels too. So we talked about Mountain House meals. We talked about water filtration. We talked about gold. We talked about silver. We talked about food. So hopefully somebody can glean from this and TP for your bunghole. You don't go to the store and buy food when they're closed. This is the time, brothers and sisters. Life is timing. Go get the things you need now. Okay, please. And morale, I don't care if it's candy or something sweet. Please go get the things that you need today and put them away so that if you want that later, maybe it's Tic Tacs, maybe it's Kit Kats. I don't know. Maybe it's Abba Zaba sticks. Yes. All right. Good. All right. I get out of here. Good stuff. All right. Ryan got some. Man, it wasn't in vain. Hallelujah. Thank you. All right, Ryan. Good. Well, I was just talking about you. I said maybe Ryan bounced out of here. Good stuff, Ryan. And I know you got stacks, but that all takes a process to get it down, and it's already coined. AJ came in here. I don't know if you were in here, Ryan. JM Bullion has copper rounds, 1 copper round, $4.99. Remember I said they're going to be $5 on Monday. Nailed it. $4.99. I wasn't any about right or wrong, but I said that. I don't know if you were in on the streams. I said I think come Monday, all these $3.99 rounds from that Golden State Mint are going to go up to, because JM Bullion's already got them for $4.99. They were only $1.99 4 days ago. I think they'll go up to $4.99. Or $1.99 to $3.99. I'm almost certain when any of these companies get it back in, it's going to be $3.99. No, it's going to be $4.99 come Monday. Copper's not going down, brothers and sisters. Copper is not going to go down. Gold and silver could make a little, Nephilim is the word bully. You might study the with an actual lexicon. Jesus is Satan and Christ was never written in the text. So you might use your lexicon. There's no such thing as Jesus because there's no J in text. So I'm not kidding. So you asked, you might use the word Nephilim doesn't have any to do with how tall a man or a woman is. A giant is the word Anunnaki. Remember they went into the land of Anak and scout out the Nephilim is not a giant. That's not what a Nephilim is a bully. So get your lexicon out and study. You want to come back sometime, we'll go over Jesus Christ is Satan the sun god. So you have a term that was never written, either of those terms, wherever. I have them right here, right in front of you. So I'm not playing with you. Nowhere in here does it say Jesus. Nowhere does it say Christ. Say Lord. Nowhere does it say Lucifer. Doesn't say devil. There's no such thing as a devil. That's an added way later. Okay. Doesn't say a lot of things that these people speak. And I only study out of the interlinear text. This is a 12th century 4-volume set, 13 in the new, 53 of the old. And I study with my lexicon. I have all the rejected texts in this little handy. I've got them here. Bible means book. So you obviously read the wrong version because you wouldn't put Jesus in your name. I rebuke Jesus, to Satan, the sun god, Mithra. So all glory to the Hamashiach, the one who said, before Abraham was I am. Shiloh, remember, born of Bethlehem. David declared him of Bethlehem. Nothing good could come of Nazareth. So somebody just gave a Cash App. I appreciate it, guys. Please don't donate to this ministry. Oh, wow. Mr. Fuzzy Booger. You don't have to do that, man. Thank you so much. But just so you know, you think a Nephilim is a giant, right? The sons of God are doing the will of the Father. Angels don't come from the sky. Angels don't have wings. Outstanding. I wish I had the money right now, Ryan, really, to throw in my Cash App or my PayPal or go to my bank and order 50 of them. I'd really like, isn't that a beautiful round? The bull and the bear, bull market's going up and the bear market's going down. What a clever design that was. What a clever design that is. A really good, clever. Remember, they sold Christ, the Hamashiach, if you can use that pagan term. Hamashiach means Messiah, for 30 pieces of silver. So, God's money is gold and silver. God's a title, by the way. I'm a veteran. So, aren't they nice? I really like the design on the, that's a nice design. It really is. So I wish I knew somebody with a credit card right now, because I give them a couple $100 because I got a couple $100 cash, but that sale ends in like 20 hours. So I don't think I'm going to get any more access to copper. And it's okay. Yes, do that though, Ryan. Stop dragging your feet. No, I just told you. But seriously, I already came in here and told everybody that. Do you realize the demand, Ryan, that people are going to have for smelters? Somebody who can, not the money changers like in scripture, but somebody who could break down that copper, remember, and stamp it. I already told you that. Get your little stamp. Go find some, maybe it's Iceman or something, and stamp it, like this 1 ounce, round remember, he was the lion from the tribe of Judah. This is from a company called Scottsdale Mint. This is a really good company too. They do a lot of specialty coins, but that's got the lion on there. That's their logo. Is Scottsdale is the lion. So good for you. Get these things broke down. Okay, get them broke down. All right, get that metal purified. Buy a little crucible, whatever. Start sticking into there and start making these ignits. And send me one. Send me one of your ignits. Okay, send me a little Ryan, whatever, an ounce or something like that. Copper. So it's not, you don't need that much though. You see what I'm saying, right? You need a couple trays. I think they're like silicon or metal or whatever. You don't need a bunch. Maybe I think they got one with like 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or something. Smaller like this, that you pour them in there in a little square. Some of them are a little bit longer. And then get your little stamp. Look online. You'll see what I'm saying right now. They sell companies that you can have a little press that you press it in there. That's all they do. They just take that and they make buttons. Scottsdale makes when I got mine taken from me, they did and then you'll later, when you have those all broken down into these things and people want those things, you'll be like, well, check this out. Yo, check this out. And you'll have your Iceman, you know, whatever, frigid or whatever. In fact, it's cold as hell, right? Rocket Man. But this is what I'm talking about. Get yourself set up. I know you have that type of motivation. We're not talking about, they make a crucible you can stick in your microwave. I don't have a microwave, but literally copper melts pretty easily. You know, it doesn't have a high melting point. So copper is something where, you know, you could, I think you can get a propane torch, but those microwave, you can microwave copper and get it to melt down into where it puts in a crucible, the slag, and you can, you know, so it sounds like you've got, you know, a large amount. Get it broken down now. Imagine if it was already all that 55-gallon drum was all like this with your little logo on it. This actually are in the back, and I would buy stamps. This one has all the you know, it says the purity in the back, but I would buy stamps like that too, 999 or whatever. Remember, copper's a little bit different. It is a little bit different the way they weigh it. There's a difference. It's not troy ounces. There's another name for it. So thank you, brothers, sisters. I better get off here. And I'm so glad that Ryan went in and got the 50 rounds, man. That's so awesome. I'm excited that it wasn't in vain, because I got to hang out here with you guys, but it truly, that somebody came in here and heard me and they got in on that good price, because I'm not sure if you were in here again, but AJ came in here and said JM Bullion right now has some 1 ounce rounds available. The same ones you just paid that $1.99 or $2.07, whatever, with a credit card, are $4.99. I said they're going to be $5 come Monday. I'm almost certain that those same ones you just ordered are going to go up to at least $3.99 on Monday, and probably $4.99. I know when I bought the ones that I bought, they were $1.99. Now they're $3.99. So I've already doubled my money, you know, on what I've already ordered. So heck yeah. Thank you, Father, for bringing Iceman in here, and so that somebody heard this stream and somebody got in on this sale before it's over. You're not going to get rich off of copper. It's not a get rich thing, okay? I'm not trying to make you rich like a lottery ticket. At least you got something that'll be tradable later. That's what I think those little ignits will be good for you. I think you're, you know, not a hustler, but like me, you can move things. And, you know, if you have a whole thing of copper, you must be that kind of person that later, when you got that box or whatever that was or something, you can pull these out. When you got boxes of these things, you're going to be able to trade. You know what I'm saying? They'll be good trade items. They'll trade. You might be able to trade them for. Wouldn't that be nice to trade a bunch of bare bright copper that you melted down for food? Freeze dryer or something. Somebody has a freeze dryer. You could trade it for a freeze dryer or something. That would be awesome. So, all right, guys. Again, links are in the description. If anybody wants to give me $199, I don't want any less from you, please, because I can't order, and I don't want it from you if you don't have it, but I'll put it out there because it's out there. If you got another extra $199, you can put it in my Cash App. If not, don't. I already got some. I just, you know, like I said, I have the cash. I just can't go to the bank until Monday. So I had to do it right now. But if somebody in here, one of the 6 of you, wants to help the ministry out, I took the last time somebody gave me, and I bought these silver dimes for $2.10 a dime, and now they're $5.50 a dime. $5.50 a dime. $5.50 a dime. So I'm not going to take your money and go blow it on a hooker. Never. I'm not looking for a girlfriend or a loner wife. So I'm waiting for Father. So I'll probably end up being single the rest of my life. So, and I'm okay with that. But thank you, guys. I better get out of here. Thank you for going in and making that happen. I don't think you'll have any issues in the next, 6 months. We'll look at this and we'll come back in here if the internet's still on in 6 months, and we'll laugh at you paid, whatever it was, like a couple $100 to get those 50 rounds, that you're going to be like, man, I should have ordered 1,000 of those things. The price is probably going to go up considerably because somebody just cornered the whole copper market. I said all the poor people are going to be able to get into this, and they took that away from us, brothers and sisters. They took that away from us. Nobody's talking about this. They took that away. The average Joe is not going to be able to pay $91 for a piece of silver. That's just not going to be an option. And with the premium, it's a little more. You know what I'm saying? In some of these, it was up to 94 the other day. It slipped back and pulled back a little bit, but nobody's buying metal for $80. I would rather right now go buy 50 copper rounds, 50 of these copper rounds, and then instead of buy 2 pieces of silver. If you ask me, I think it's a much better to buy 50 rounds of copper than 2 pieces of silver. There's 2 of you left. All right, Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.